Greetings, I'm back again. Yes, I figured out what was going on. I love the way I am. Don't you understand? I'm stepping it hotter this year. I'm stepping it hotter this year. Yes, I am stepping it hotter this year. I and I, Rastafari, day out, back again, come again. Greetings, everyone. Let me know if you're able to hear me well. I see the comments. Yes, I figured out what was going on. Cause me no make nothing stop the I and I. Do you understand me? Hello, greetings, everyone. Blessed, happy new you, happy new year, new beginnings and everything that's transforming. Yes, we're doing it together. You're not alone. I feel much better today than I did yesterday and the day before, and so on and so on. Greetings, Cherise, Alice, Lauren, Jennifer, Sandra, Starseed. I just want to let you know that I will be doing channel messages if you would like a channel message. Feel free to send me an email to my email address, The Return of the Garden of Eden 1111. Let me start again. The Garden of Eden 1111 at gmail.com. And you look in the description box what I accept: Cash App, Venmo, and PayPal. I did promise I was going to do it the next time I do a live. And also, I have a special surprise and a treat for you today as well. Look at today as being more of an entertainment, and I'm not going to be just blah, 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 okay? So I would love to know how everyone is being and doing today. I know that a lot has happened or been happening from over this entire weekend. Well, actually, how much years now? Yes, Boofer, I've been exhausted. I was so exhausted. I slept for oh my gosh, like 15 hours. I'm so serious. I slept for like 15 hours, and I had dreams that were people that I've never seen in my whole life. So if you have had dreams, thank you. If you've had dreams and you don't recognize the characters or the people, because what Spirit showed me is that you're going through a review with people that you also had connections to from past lives that they may not be here on this side. So you're actually meeting up with them to clear out also energy that has existed or any timelines or experiences that you've had with them. So it's a lot of things that are happening so much, I would say simultaneously. So a lot of weird dreams, like what I dreamt, like, oh my gosh. Kelly had asked me, have I had weird dreams also today as well? And and happy full moon still, the full moon energy is still amplifying. And I dreamt like this woman, like I was in this building, and this woman, she was having some type of an affair with another woman or something. She went in her car, left the building. When she drove outside, a big truck just crushed the car. Reminded me of watching like a Tom and Jerry cartoon. And it crushed her, and it crushed the vehicle. And then all of a sudden her body, her spiritual body, appeared back into the physical reality. And it came in just like, if you remember from the Avengers, the Marvel. I hope you guys, you all watch it, because a lot of information and stuff comes through with those movies. And so she came back and appeared in her body, but she was coming in just like how when all those people started vaporizing and all that stuff. Well, that is how she appeared in the dream again. And I said in the dream, I was like, oh my gosh, this is the different way that we're, I guess I said, how we're reincarnating or how we're transforming. And it looked like just like how when, I can't remember the way how they did it in the movie, the Marvel comics, when all of those people started just disappearing and then they came back again, back into how they are in the physical world. Well, that's exactly how I saw it in the dream today. This was today, but it was just so much dreams after dreams after dreams. It was back to back. And I just couldn't remember all of them, but I kind of figured that this was something I guess I was supposed to talk about today. Do I know if that's what it's going to be like? I have no idea. But I know that we're seeping in so many of these realities, and they're speeding up so fast that it's like by the time you look around, it's 10 o'clock, like right now it's 9:50 p.m. Eastern where I am. And so every time I look around, it's back to that time again. And it's like everything is just condensing and condensing and condensing. I also woke up to hearing about another earthquake that is happening in Puerto Rico, which one was on Friday and then another one today. And also today where I am, I'm in Rockland County, New York, Pomona, and it's 65 degrees today. You heard me. The people next door to me was actually having a barbecue. I was joking around. I said, damn, they're kind of black, because black people, we'll barbecue and do shit all over the place. We don't give a fuck. So it's like, I spoke about this in the book that things are changing so much on the earth. The earth is also responding to the changes that are happening within her solar plexus, within her solar plexus as well. And so what that means is that everything to how we were in terms of the weather formation and how do I call it? Like the weather is responding also to how we're responding to the changes that are happening rapidly within our solar plexus. Okay. I even heard that Chicago's having a winter storm, yet still they're like on the East Coast side to where I am in New York, but I'm having warm weather. January is always the coldest time of the year, always. And so it's like, it's all going like in rotation. It's like things are completing like that eight cycle, the infinity cycle of things that are coming to completion. And when we're moving through the energy of completion, you are going to be pushing out the older timelines and bringing in a newer energy of with who you are and what you're templating. And if you're on again that twin soul path, you're going to be kind of going in a reverse cycle and then rotating back again into another direction. And a lot of it is happening through your emotions and how you're feeling inside and how you're connecting. What has been illuminating for you right now? Think about that. If you haven't, if you're not aware of that, is tap into or try to go in deeper to what is illuminating for you when it comes to people around you. Like, are you finding there's more people around you that are more fake or acting more fake, or you're getting to see them for who they really are, their true colors? And a part of you might feel like, what, I think it's time for me to step away from this relationship with this person, or how I relate to this person, or how they relate to me. And this is all a part of what we're shifting through and reforming. We're redoing, we're revamping. What is another word? It's like, and it's happening at such an accelerated pace that by the time you go into the brain too much to think about what's going to make sense for you, here comes something else again. And it's like you don't have time to think about what happened yesterday because you're busy being in the now with the new energy that's coming in. So it's like really like being on a cycle that's ramping up, and just like when the engine is building up and you're just moving forward. Now, if you find yourself feeling as if you're stuck, what's key to how you get out of the stuckness, first of all, is being more open and allowing the information to flow through you at that moment, and really paying close attention and being in a greater awareness than how you have never been before. So for example, like I gave an example of some things that were happening around me during the Christmas time and with my family. I said that in the previous video, so I don't want to be too redundant. You know me can't talk for hours and hours. And then so what happened is that I was hearing my twin's higher self coming to me saying, go to your family party, because I went through that process of rejection, and knowing that I'm bringing in the new energy, as far as being like the nucleus within my family, and what I went through. And so I went there, and all I was tapping into for myself was that I was going to have a good time, like I always do, because I know that I'm just like the life of the party. I bring all this energy, I bring all this light, and I knew dynamically that every single thing that was embodied by every single family member is something that I'm processing through with all of them, okay, all of them, because by the time I got home that night, I felt heavy after that. I had to go to the toilet. I was processing, and this is what's going to happen with you now as things start to speed up even more rapidly, as we're leaving out, we're like in the center of the universal consciousness of what's leaving and closing out that that door and the timelines of how things used to be for centuries, okay, for centuries. So I'm here to bring you the energy, the light, the information, the knowledge, the codes, so that way you can also get to that place, if you're not there, that you just become more enlightened and more aware of what it means. Because as we're moving through this Capricorn cycle and all these planets that are in Capricorn, at the same time, your 3D self is also trying to align with your 5D self. So it's no more of that separateness of, okay, I'm just up here. No, because we're grounding it down here. You're grounding down here, you know, which is not really down here, because everything is still in that same, it's in the same place. It's just that it's a higher frequency. It's like when you're really like tapping into your higher self, it's much faster. And it's like your voice is tweaking like a bird, you know, that's what it's like. Like I've heard my higher self saying this very quickly, like all when, you know, anyone who's on the other side, when I'm a medium, and when I hear them, it's so quick how the messages come in that by the time someone's asking me a question, I'm like, oh, can you just hurry up? Because I already know the answer. It's like, that's what it's like for me, how it's just speeding up so much. But the difference now is that I am grounding all the information that's coming in, and I'm grounding it in by being the change and being who I am, and that I don't have to say anything, because the energy that flows through me to whatever it is that's changing, it's felt by others. And that is where you're going to be if you're not already, as you're working through these processes. So I see someone was writing about the feeling the pressure in the solar plexus. I've had before, and I know what it means when you're feeling the pressure in your solar plexus. It's just like how everything just squeezing, like you're going through some type of a machine, you know. And I was hearing something to do with diamonds, and I posted something that I saw to do with diamonds, and I saw a video to do with diamonds. The pressure of feeling like the diamond, because you're feeling pressurized, and then all of a sudden you're going to come out of this machine, and then you're like a new person. The thing is that it goes in cycles. So it doesn't just, oh, I'm a diamond now, and then it just ends. It's going to continuously move through you on a constant cycle. You're giving birth to yourself over and over and over again. Your brain cannot even possibly understand right now, maybe not right now, how many times do you think you've been given birth to on the physical plane by a mother, okay, of some sort? Okay, being given. And so think about your soul, and your spirit body is giving birth to itself, and it's working through all the elements of who you are, all the process of who you are, who you've been, multiple layers, multiple lifetimes, and it just comes in now in a greater intensity. You're going through more life review. You're reviewing and centering yourself on everything that you know, everything you've been taught as a child, everything you've seen as a child or seen as a young adult or a teenager, and how it has, I would say, like, created you into who you have been. But what's different is that you're gathering all the data of who you've been in this lifetime, other lifetimes, and you're bringing it together. So that's why it's going to feel even more like you're crunching in everything, and it's like as if everything is just pressurizing like a pressure cooker. Okay. Now, what was interesting yesterday, yes, the creation of the galactic diamond grid, absolutely. And, you know, the earth itself is also responding to the change by everything that's changing with the weather, everything that's changing with, you know, where you may live. There may be certain pockets of energy that exist on certain parts of the earth. And what Spirit showed me today, that the reason why this happens is because if there's a certain energy that is still in a certain region or area where you may be or someone else may be, is that if it's still in, what do you call it, embodied with so much pain and or it's, you know, it's not conducive for humanity, the earth is going to push it out. It's going to push it out. So you think of like when I give the example of if you eat something that's not good for you, your body's going to go through the process of everything through your intestinal tract. You're going to start to feel something gurgitating in your stomach, and it's going to expel it in some way, right? So whether you expel it out of your ass or you're going to expel it out somewhere else in your body, it's going to come out. And this is how the earth is responding the same way, where the energy that is no longer serving its purpose is just going to go. It just has to go. It has to go. That's right. And it's a fact. It's facts. Everything to what we experience, the earth is experiencing it also. So whether it's through an earthquake usually comes about with something that's sudden, which is like the eclipse. The eclipse is also going to feel, is going to show things as being very, very sudden, very dramatic, very intense. And how you look at it will make a difference with what you're experiencing. So when I say how you look at it, how you're viewing it, how you're seeing it, from what perspective. If you're going to say that it's bad and oh, this is, evil and all this stuff is coming at me like you're a victim, then what's happening is that it's going to intensify for you because of how you're viewing it. Because right now, time is speeding up so quickly that as you're feeling and thinking the thought, it's just going to come into your reality almost within seconds. Okay, because I'm seeing it now for myself, and I'm really being as conscious as possible to what I may say, and not even just what I say, but what I'm feeling, because I'm like, oh shoot, man, this happened so fast and it happened so quickly. And the way how it comes in so fast is almost like by the time I catch myself into seeing it, then here comes something else that's manifesting, because your thoughts, especially the repeating thoughts, could have been something from 2 weeks ago and it's already caught up now, and then something else that you probably may have said in your reality from 8 hours ago all of a sudden also starts to manifest. So this is how quickly, and this is how Yeshua was at that place where he manifested things from within years to months, and then it consolidated into days, and then the days started to shorten for him with how he manifested things into hours, and then into minutes, and then to seconds. So it's just so rapidly, and by the time, and with everything that's different, then and now, is that we're manifesting our new realities. Okay, manifesting your new reality for each individual person is what is creating the new earth. And so therefore be mindful and aware of where the destructive cycle is around you and what it really means. So we'll hold a space and prayer for those who are going through difficulties during this time, especially for those who may be homeless, may have no water, no electricity, and also no food and stuff like that. So we hold prayers and understanding of what it means, and empathy, and whatever you feel that you can do to contribute to help it, because we're still building and rebuilding a new community, a conscious community. But also know that Spirit showed me, and I got to keep it real, there's a lot of debts that are coming with everything that's happening with these cycles of changes. Lots and lots of debts. And this is also a part of what is releasing off the planet, because the newer souls that are coming in, as they're coming in, the rotation is that they're coming in, and there's others who already were destined and predestined to leave out, to release the cycle and release the energy that has been embodied on earth that no longer serves them or serves their family or serves anything else that is contributing to humanity. You see what I mean? So I have said that in the book, and I have been, and I keep saying it now, that we're going to be hearing massive amounts of deaths that are going to be coming in one after the other continuously throughout the year. And it's not subjected to age, and it's not subjected to, I've heard of already 3 deaths within the past 2-3 weeks of mysterious deaths where they don't even know what happened, how the person died, what happened, like how did this happen? They're so young, a 19-year-old just disappeared, and they found her and then she was just unconscious. They don't even know what happened. You know what I mean? So it's like so many souls will be leaving and exiting the earth. Be ready, be prepared to know this is going to be happening within your family, your circle of friends, and that it has a meaning for it and a purpose for this time during the ascension. So I just wanted to at least reiterate that for you all, to remember that, and just hold a space of peace within your heart, no matter how it's showing up in your reality. So anyway, I did make sure that I was going to write down my notes to what I was going to talk about for things that have happened through me for the past several weeks, that I'm pretty sure you've also been experiencing things similarly or the same, or you're on your way to that reality. And just know that anything that you may not know now, or whatever you hear me say now, it will, you may not understand it now, but eventually you'll come back and you remember afterwards, because we're on different levels of awakening, or different levels of wisdom and understanding, but everything will and always does make sense. That's what I know, that spirit has always shown me, that it all comes into its alignment. Even if something is leaving or something's destroyed, there is a reason and a purpose behind it, because you don't know what that's bringing to you for your sacred union. Okay, because these sacred unions that are now templating on earth is not only eradicating the relationship cycle, but it's also eradicating things to do with money, finance, banking, education. It could be anything from what you're eating, not eating. It could be anything to do with the physical body, your health. I haven't been to the doctor in about, I think since 2013. That's right. You hear me? No doctor at all. The only thing I probably went to is get my eyes checked, and also for my teeth. Yeah. Because basically my soul is not allowing me to do that, because it's like, I am becoming my own healer, my own guru. I am also connecting to the Christed energy within me, that I know that I'm whole. I may not be perfect, but I know that I am working, and I'm also moving towards that perfection of knowing who I am as my own physician and healer. And I listen and attune to what spirit tells me and where I'm to go. My mom was a herbalist. She still is. And she communicates with me on the other side. Her birthday's coming up in 2 hours. and she has led me to things from a spiritual standpoint to do with my own personal healing. And I'm like, wow, it's just amazing. And I listen with that inner ear, and I know where she guides me, even to tell others as far as what they need to take or what they need to do. So as you allow yourself to attune to the spiritual realm, you will be guided by your higher self through source energy. Doesn't matter who it is, just being in that awareness at all times, not just sometimes. You know what I mean? Always remember, as you go within, if you feel you need to go out, don't forget to come back in again. And if you need to go out to validate, fine, but don't remember to come back within. Keep coming back within over and over again, until you get so used to it, just like breathing. You don't think about breathing, you're just breathing. Well, it's the same thing, because you see, the way how the planet has been before, we've been so used to having everything and doing everything from an external standpoint. And so it's no more just talking about it, it's actually embodying it and being it at the same time. That is what grounding the 5D is all about. Because I know that since 2012, we were moving through our own cycles of awakening. And then, maybe some of you have had supernatural things happen, maybe you haven't. But now the energy is more freer, that it doesn't matter what anybody understands or sees. If they don't see it, or if you see it and they don't see it, that's okay. Eventually, they will see it for themselves if they choose. If it's their time to see this on earth, to witness. This is the coming. This is the coming, the COMING. This is the coming of the Christ consciousness, not a physical person coming in the clouds. You see, this is the time of what we have desired to know from a soul, to what we know, to experience it and to feel it and to embody it and to witness what we know in that physical body. You see? So even if you feel, well, my physical body is not going to be here because I'm going to leave out of here, go to the other side, and that's when I'll know. No, this is your opportunity to know thyself while you're in the physical body, and glorify yourself through God, Goddess, while you're in the body, because you are aware. Keywords, you are aware of yourself. In other words, you are aware of your higher self. You're aware of your higher consciousness that is filtering through the subconscious part of you, that comes up to that block that was in the subconscious mind that says, no, I can't do that. No, I'm in fear. I'm in worry. I'm in doubt. I'm still processing pain from my childhood, or it could be through any type of sexual energy that you have felt disempowered, or it could be being disempowered by being abused. Okay. And as your higher self is coming through and filtering through, it's going to create these realities in front of you, so you can look at it and face it once and for all, and to transmute. That's the alchemy. You're transmuting, you're filtering through it. That's when you're feeling the burning sensation in your solar plexus. You're filtering through it through the third eye. So when you're feeling all that pressure coming through your head and the pain, is because these codes that are coming in is pushing out the old dense knowledge, information that you've received from lifetimes that you brought back on earth, and then and then you're going through the process of receiving the new codes while you're sleeping, or you could be in meditation, or you could just feel like you just like blacked out for a moment, and that's when it starts to happen. So as you're moving through that integration of your higher consciousness that's flowing through, coming through into the subconscious mind, and once you come into the awareness for yourself, okay, that's the aha moment. That's when you're bringing into its conscious state. That's when you're making it real. And then when you're making it real, that part of you is going to start to reject anything that it doesn't feel good inside. Listen to those feelings. Listen to what feels right, what feels the highest, because it's in that moment you are making it conscious. And then you start to take a different action from the choice you're making based on that. It doesn't feel right anymore. You're making the change within yourself, and then you start to implement it. If you go into fear and doubt with it again, then you may go through another repeat cycle where you finally make that choice and say, you know what, that's it, or the universe is going to kind of push you. And this is what the purpose of the eclipse is doing, is what you're releasing, what's illuminating in front of you. And it's like that deer in headlights and saying, oh my gosh, this is bullshit. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm going to start now focusing on myself, or I'm going to do the things that I desire to do and remain in that joy-like state, even if I'm feeling the pain. You know what I mean? It's all a part of that process of how it happens, how it comes into your reality. Remember, the people, the key players, because you're in your movie now. You know, you're in your movie. Oh, I tell you, my movie has been something else. And you know, I'm the co-creator of this movie, and so are you. You're the co-creator of your movie. You're also a part of my movie. I'm a part of your movie as well. Okay, and we all decided before we incarnated that we were all going to be meeting up with one another a particular time, okay, in a particular place, whether it's physically or you see this person this way, however the case may be, however we designed it. So anyone who you feel that has offended you, that has triggered you, thank them from the bottom of your heart, or the top of your soul, or the top of your head. Thank them, because they're the ones that decided with you to be there at the perfect time for you to get your triggers, so you can remember yourself, and then you get to choose. Okay, you get to choose, and that you don't have to force anything on anyone. You don't have to, go all out and overboard and try to save or anything, because all that saving energy is still leaving. It's leaving the planet, that you got to save this person. And and I remember when you awaken, you get all excited, and you get sad, and you get angry. You go through all different types of emotions. You relive things that you've experienced in past lives, and you feel like you want to take action. But sometimes what it means now differently is that the action you take is what you're going to do for yourself, and not what you do for someone else. What you do for yourself is what makes the difference. Every single person that does something different for themselves, being authentic, being real, just really facing yourself and facing the shadow, the part of yourselves that you don't like, or the parts of yourselves that, even if you did something different in the past, but now you change your mind. It's okay to change your mind. It's okay to be different now. If you went back into a habit that you did before, don't beat yourself over it. Just look at it and say, you know what? I see it for what it is, and I'm just going to move through it until it just finally just moves out in another direction. You see what I mean? Because if you hold on to the judgment and then you're grieving through it, it pulls you down, and then you begin to join those people that like to look at you, like the religion energy and that government energy. Oh, if you don't do this, you're gonna go to hell, and you're being punished, and this and that and whatnot. And speaking of religion, I noticed that a lot more people who have awakened to their spiritual path, they're going back to religion. It's all good. I say it's all good. And I say that when I observe that happening, I kind of feel like it's when some people reach a pinnacle point where they feel confused, and they're afraid of their own power. They're afraid of their light. They're afraid of the truth. They're afraid of letting go of the need to find something outside of themselves in order to feel as if they can have some power. They rather someone else, take over for them, or that they got to turn to someone in order to know themselves. You know what I mean? It's almost like I call it the lazy way out, And I'm telling you, even the books that exist, at some point, we will no longer have the need to want to read all those books. I say that the history and whatever has been created in the past serves its time until we get to a point where we're not going to be bothered to read books and stuff, because all the information, all the data, everything is just going to keep flowing within yourself, because you are the universal truth. You are the one that has all the data and all the information. It's just to activate it, you see? To activate it. That's all it is, to activate it. And once you activate it, think about when you do connect to someone, it's not necessarily because you connect through the book or something like that, that you're going to remember and who they are, and then you're going to connect with each other telepathically, and you start to communicate from the heart, and you receive the messages, because that is how spirit does it with you right now, just that you're doing it while you're in the physical body. So even if it may feel strange, for one person, if you're doing that where you're communicating telepathically with someone and you could hear and feel what they're saying, you can feel what's coming from their heart, even if someone else don't know, it don't matter. It's none of your business what they want to believe it, because this is how it's changing with how we communicate with one another. I've come to a point even now, I can't be bothered having all these extra long conversations. I start out the sentence and they're like, yeah, you know what I mean, right? You know what I'm going to say, right? And they're like, no, well, think about it. And that's what I do, because I feel like every time I talk more, it's taking out more of my life force. And this is where spirit sometimes going to push you to a place where you start to tune in, turn on that radio station, and see what is coming through from the divine through you and to you and your own personal connection. That's what's moving through to start to ground even more on the earth. That's flowing through from the Capricorn energy into Aquarius, because as we move more into Aquarius, which it's already filtering, it's like both is working simultaneously. It's like Aquarius, Capricorn, Aquarius. That's how they keep showing it to me. And it's new and old, earth, air, earthbound and then air, air up in the air or something, however you want to word it. And it's filtering, it's coming through, and it's like an energy that, again, we may not be used to it. You may not know where to place it, where to begin, where to start. And I say, just keep moving. Just allow yourself to just move through it and just be centered and still and say, oh, okay, this feels different. Okay, I'm just gonna allow my soul to take me where I need to with this, you see? And this is how you ground it. And don't attach to how it was in the past. Stay present, even if it looks weird, you see? So I'm gonna read some of your, even, I have all these notes in front of me and I haven't looked at none of them, because my soul is like, nope, you're gonna talk first and then you could go to the notes. Okay, so I'm gonna read some of the comments. Hey, Stephen, Cherie, Sandra, blessed the dark one that burns. Yes, I. Greetings, Aris. Happy New Year, Lorene. Yeah, I've been seeing the 111s too, Jennifer. 111s, 1111. I've been seeing the infinity symbol. I've been seeing 1212 still, and definitely 144. Constant. 144, 144, 144. Greetings, Mary. I see you. Infinite blessings. Yes. Yeah, at least I feel a little better now. I don't feel as tired, because I swear, I went to one of my restaurants to sit down and eat with my son, Damon. And if any of you know me personally with Damon, we're always trolling each other. And I was saying so raw, slow. So anyway, when I went to started trying to eat, I started to feel so woozy. And I was just like this is how it was. And I know the guy that, I'm always personable with people all the time. So as everywhere I go, everybody just kind of knows me. And I know I could feel him saying, what's wrong with her? She's not the same usual bubbly self, whatever. And I was like, yeah, that's okay. Okay. And that's how I was. Seriously, I was feeling so spacey. And I started to feel this energy was just just it comes like it's like as if it just came right through, and then I just had to let it just keep moving through me for 24 hours is what I was feeling with that energy. 20, it was at least 24 hours. And I knew that there was something coming through, and I was tapping in, and I kept hearing the photon belt, the photon energy, and it showed me like part of it was had to do with Saturn, okay. Part of it had to do with the planet Saturn. Seriously, because when I closed my eyes, that's what I saw, and I know the planet that has the ring in the center of it is Saturn. So interestingly, I wanted to share with you, because I did mention that on 12/21 I had a dream about Saturn, okay? And so I believe that Saturn is my one of my ruling planets besides Uranus. Good old Uranus is at hand with all these drastic changes, right? And Saturn. So I dreamt about it, and I said I was going to play it for you to listen to it so you can hear it for yourself, because when I'm talking about it after the fact, it's like I don't even remember, whatever. And so what I was dreaming about to do with the planet itself, I knew it was a significant message. And the reason is because I remembered that Saturn was going to be conjunct Pluto right around now, because 111 represents everything that comes into alignment, okay? It's a vibration that is both internal and external, okay? And that means that anything that you have been reflecting on within yourself, it's going to start to magnify. And when you see that 111, it's going to let you know that it's coming into balance, okay? Because remember, a lot of the things that you're experiencing is about what are you going to do now to bring yourself into balance? What is out of balance, okay? What is it that you do more of on one end, but then you stay too much into it, and then you forget to come back to the other side, and then what you do is that's what creates that infinity, because you're moving through to the other side, you're coming back over, you're moving into the polarity. What part of your shadow is there for you to look at and embrace it and say, oh, I just love it so much. Oh, this is so much pain, this is so fucked up, but I love you because I see how much more empowered I feel as I embrace that part of myself that I may not like, or the part of myself that I'm afraid of, that shows up through others, that mirrors back to me, that is so triggering or makes me feel fearful or intimidated, or disempowered, or if it's time to speak up and you're not, and you're holding back, the list can just go on and on and on, and so when I think about that Saturn conjunct Pluto message, it represents, from what I wrote down, it says 2 restrictive energies that come across at a time of eradicating old timelines that existed within my family or your families. And what it does is it starts to create, at the same time that it's eradicating that old cycle, to bring in these newer realities at a quicker pace, and it comes in faster and faster and faster, okay? And that's why things are feeling like you're feeling restricted, you're feeling the tension, but then at the same time, you're also feeling lighter and happier and freer and in your joy, okay? That's what it does. So the lunar eclipse itself is what's also in this energy, okay? And it's in Cancer. And of course, Cancer represent your emotions, your feelings, your thoughts, and family. Again, it has to do with family. If you felt like you've had a family that has abandoned you, or you don't have your family, how can you can now give yourself permission to recreate your family and choose the type of family that you would like to experience that you didn't when you were a child, okay? So we have the solar eclipse that happened around 12/21, and that represented masculine. And then now we're in that feminine principle of the lunar eclipse, which is feminine. What's interesting is that I feel the solar eclipse was what was really affecting not necessarily the masculine, but the feminine, because a lot of for those who are mostly in the feminine energy, it switched where you came more into your masculine energy as we were ending out the year, coming into the new year. And then those who embody most of the masculine energy were now having to switch and go in more into their feminine energy in how they're nurturing themselves, following their intuition, listening to their thoughts, connecting to their emotions, allowing themselves to be vulnerable. And those who are more in the feminine energy to step up to the plate, to become more empowered, to follow your dreams, to walk your path, okay, embody your path, okay. So this is what is also happening with twins, is that we've been switching places, and that is what creates that loop and the infinity of connecting the inner and the outer, okay. Because whatever's within me, as I'm in I embody most of the feminine energy. Of course, you can feel it and see it, right? So, but guess what? I am also in masculine energy. And as I'm connecting to my masculine energy, the feminine gives birth to her divine masculine. That true divine masculine energy is what we're like starting to ground it more and more. And that's the part that feels a little bit uncomfortable for those who are in the masculine energy, how they were in it before. So now I don't want to feel sound confusing, because what I'm saying is, like, if, say for instance, I give you an example of a man who is mostly in masculine energy that is now I would say connecting to his feminine energy. And it means that they're listening to the voice. They're listening to God. They're connecting to God. They're connecting to source. They're desiring to connect to feminine energy that feels more grounded and safe for them. That they are following their heart. They're following who they feel their connection to with love, right? They're not afraid of love anymore. They're not afraid of being vulnerable. They're not afraid to speak up. They're not afraid to connect, okay? And as they're going through that cycle, we do have to understand that it is quite uncomfortable too, because it's like creates a feeling of being isolated, and also feeling as if they're being judged, or they're acting out of sorts, because they're grounding the new template of what the divine sacred masculine is, okay? And that means that we're setting boundaries and freedom. Also, it represents freedom, that true freedom, and being empowered, but being empowered in a different way, where there's no control over another. Because remember, everything that represented patriarchy was control, power, the religion, church mechanism, the governmental system, the education, you got to do this. It's like the most preposterous thing. My son, the fourth one, I took him to have his annual checkup. He's 18, right? So of course he's 18, so he can make his own choices now, whatever, okay? But they say that a prophetess gets no honor in their home, right? Anyway, so he decided to go and get the flu shot. So I said, well, why would you go to the flu shot? I said, every year when the doctor asked it, I tell him no. And he would argue and argue. And I said, well, no. I said, why am I going to be foolish enough to be taking a shot that I'm making myself sick, when my body is built to, I would say, to heal itself, if anything, and create the antibodies as far as that is concerned. So even if it seeps in for a little bit, every year the strain changes anyway, and my body will get used to it. So anyway, he went and did it anyway. And of course, I told him, I said, don't say nothing to me if you start feel sick and all that kind of stuff in there, because the doctor's going to give me logic that he has to take it in order for him to be in college, because he dorms away, but yet still, when he got it before he went to college, it lasts for 2 years. So I said, well, what happened when the 2 years is up while he's in college? And the doctor says, well, he'll get another one, but yet still it's not going to last but for another 2 years while he's still in school. So that means there'll be another gap of 2 years that he doesn't have the shot. So is that logical? No, not at all. So why would you do it? But you see, these are the programming that exists, that we are having to pay attention to. What are you still maybe not aware of, or maybe you are, but you're still conforming to it because, it's traditional, but that's what I've always done, and so forth. And are you going to now change that? Are you going to change the way how things have been by not doing something? You know what I mean? And it's ingrained sometimes so deeply in the subconscious mind. It's stale now, Stephen. Thanks. It's ingrained so much in the subconscious mind that we don't realize how much programming that we are releasing now on the earth and bringing in the ground. And it's going to come across as if you're being a rebel. Be the rebel. Be that warrior. Fuck that. Okay? That's right. That's it. That's how deep it goes. And so what I know as far as the masculine is concerned, whatever part of themselves that had been used to being in control. It's a different type of way of being in control. Okay? You're not losing yourself because someone else suggests something to you that may be different. Okay? And oh, wonderful. Yes, step up to the plate. I never get no flu shot. And I love being a rebel. You know, I've always been told that I'm a rebel. Absolutely. That's why Archangel Gabriel is my right hand angel, you know? That's right. Rebel, rebel, rebel with a cause and without one. I don't have to have a cause. It's like, I don't even have to say anything. It's like it just comes all the way from my solar plexus. Like, nope, don't even go there. Nope, don't know who for frightened. That's what in my country, that's what we say. And don't know who for frightened means that whichever person that may feel that they would want to go against what I feel is right for me, they just stop at their tracks. You can't come to me with foolishness because I see right through you. I see right through the energy. And this is where I feel Spirit is taking many of you into allowing yourself to understand the energy and to understand what is presenting itself in front of you, around you, behind you, beside you. Okay? Everything that begins with the change starts from within that feminine energy. As we give birth to it within ourselves, and our divine masculine is also giving birth to themselves through us. It works simultaneously. As we break through and recreate all of these new energies that come through from the structural foundations that have existed from lifetimes. I even have found out even some buildings that existed where my grandmother's house was in Jamaica, that they demolished the library, they demolished the church. You see, and I said, very interesting. So that means everything that existed in that region, whatever is being eradicated, whatever is being broken down, whatever is being unearthed with the earthquakes, whatever is being released through the water with the floods, whatever is also disappearing through the mudslides, whatever is taking over from volcanoes and volcanic reactions, is because the earth and we are recreating ourselves, okay? In every instance, in every way, that's how it's occurring. Whether we like it or not, or whether anyone else around you likes it or not, okay? So I wanted to play the dream that I had on the winter solstice, which I mentioned before. And I didn't realize until I went back to look at it, because I said, okay, I was going to play it. And I said, let me re-listen to it just in case I said anything in there that I don't really want to have out there publicly. And when I look, I saw that it was 12 minutes and 21 seconds. You just can't make up this shit at all. No. And so when I saw that, I was like, OMG. So anyway, I'm going to play it, but it's going to be cut down to like about 9 minutes. And like I said, it was no coincidence that this dream came forth right on the winter solstice, which represents the masculine energy, because I knew that, and also 1221 represents the mirror effect. So remember, the mirror is what comes in, I would say, the forward motion. And then it's almost like it turns around and it comes backwards. And so it's like it's front to back, okay? And it represents the inner and what shows up in the outer. So be mindful again of where you are in your thinking and your thought process and feeling and processing, because however you're feeling inside, it is going to show on the outside, in the external, okay? That's right. So I'm going to play the dream, and it's about 9 minutes, I would say, because I cut it down, from the 12 minutes to the 12:21, because I kind of gave my address in there, and I really don't want to, because I don't want nobody show up on my door mount. Just kidding. But then I'm not. So anyway, let me see, make sure that it's going to play loud enough. Okay, no, it's not loud enough. See, I've been having so much technical difficulties, but I don't want to say the word difficulties. So let me see. I hope it plays loud enough. Let me see.
It is now December 22nd, 2019.
Can you hear that? That sounds
yesterday afternoon.
Oh, turn it up.
I'll have some quiet now. And
let's start from the beginning. Okay.
It is now December 22nd, 2019. I'm recording a dream I had yesterday afternoon. Well, I have some quiet now. And this dream, in and of itself, interestingly, I slept like literally all day, all the way up until like 4:30 in the afternoon, just from staying up and unpacking and everything. So I had woke up, looked at my phone, and Indira had sent me a message on Facebook Messenger, but I didn't really read it completely. She was sharing a video to me, and all I said was, "What's this?" or "Who's this?" And I went back to sleep because I felt like I needed to sleep some more. So this was like maybe around 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and then that's when I fell asleep again and woke up at 4:30. So I would say I had this dream around the 3 o'clock p.m. hour on December 21st. So it's interesting that I had this dream on the winter solstice, as I'm in the northern hemisphere where it is the winter solstice. So interestingly, as I went back to sleep and I had this dream, Indira was in the dream. And what happened was I was either on a boat and I was on land, and there was like a celebration party going on. And this is where DJ Wayne Oxdale was hosting the party. And he and I are Aquarius. He always does really celebrate his birthday, usually in the month of March, even though his birthday is towards the end of January. And in the dream, in and of itself, he announced and told everyone that this was his last time that he was gonna keep a party for this year, for next year, excuse me, for his birthday, and that he was going to be celebrating his birthday in Miami instead. So I then, in the dream, in my thoughts, I said, "Oh well, I won't be traveling to Miami, so I guess this is the last party that I'm attending to do with him." So there was these whole bunch of other women that were sitting around, and they were looking at me, and they're looking at me, and then it's like they're saying, "Well, Sharon, why don't you just keep a party?" It's like they were trying to goad me on that, come on, you can do it. You're the one that's good at this, what they're trying to say, like for me to take over, which is kind of odd because it's not like as if it's my birthday, it was his birthday. But to me, it almost felt like the baton being passed on to me. And all these women were Black women. They were all Black females in the dream. And Indira, she was also cheering me on, "Hey, you do it, you do it." And I was like very adamant, like, "I don't know, and whatever." So next thing you know, I ended up in another section of the dream. I ended up like seeing myself laying down sleeping, and I'm looking out the window, and it's like, there's other stuff going on to do with the party. I'm looking out the window, and I see the planet, like 5 or 6 planets. And one planet in particular that stood out was Saturn. So I saw Saturn, and then I saw the moon. It looked like the moon to me. And then there was another planet that looked like the moon. So I was like, wait a minute, now Saturn is surrounded by 5 moons. So I then said to Lee, who was a realtor that that was also working with me. I told him, he said to me, "Oh, Sharon, that's a very special planet for me." And I'm like, "It is?" And I said, "You need to take a picture of it. You need to get the camera and take a picture of it." But he was taking so long and, moving slow. And so I said, then, you know what? I'm going to do it myself. I'm trying to get my phone to stay steady to take the picture because it was a beautiful sunset. And I could see the planet Saturn. Like I saw the planet as plain as day. And every time I tried to take the picture of it, it's like it just wouldn't happen. It just wouldn't let me, like there's like an energy stopping me from not being able to get the view of what I saw with the planets. So anyway, I woke up and I thought to myself, and I said, that's so interesting. And all I could hear Spirit say is something to do with Saturn conjunct Pluto. So I said, well, maybe it wasn't the moon that I saw. Maybe it was Pluto. So when I think about it, I said, something is very significant with my connection to Saturn. And unbeknownst to me, that the solstice, well, I knew it was a solstice yesterday, but that it really represents the Saturnalia, and it is a celebration of Saturn. And it also is a celebration of rebirth. So it kind of takes away from whatever was taught to do with Christmas, and what the celebration of Christmas really was, to do with the Roman time frame and the history of everything that was put there to to switch up things and change things around or whatever. So, but in either case, I knew and I felt in my heart something is very significant to do with Saturn conjunct Pluto, and the mere fact that it actually takes place right on my mother's birthday, which is also the time of the eclipse. So it just made me feel like something is like huge, big time is releasing around that date, and it's all connected to me and also my lineage with my on my mother's side of family and my father's side of family, especially to do with the females. And it just feels like a pinnacle point for me. So I thought to myself, I said, you know what? I said, oh my gosh, it's like so crazy how I'm getting messages now and connecting to the planets communicating with me in the dream. Because, and I wouldn't be surprised if one of the planets that I saw was also Jupiter. Because I know in my thoughts, I was like, well, there's only one moon that I can think of. I said, unless there is such a thing as more than one moon. I said, but it's interesting how the planet Saturn was actually facing the moon. So to me, it just feels like a point of meeting, or a point of connecting to the moon with Saturn, and the energy that's going to be coming forth to do it myself, because I was the one that saw it. So in either way, I just said that I'm going to have to talk to an astrologer that is going to be able to help me to read my chart and tell me what this means for me. And so I know that so far, when I've listened to Kelly Rosano, is it Kelly Rosano? I think so. But she does astrology, and I was listening to her video that is discussing Aquarius for 2020. And the first thing she talks about in the first 10 minutes of her video is the fact that all the planets are going to be in the 12th house for Aquarians, and that the Saturn conjunct Pluto represents a lot of endings, new beginnings, a lot of endings. So, it makes a lot of sense for me, because, how interesting and ironic, that this would be the 12th house for me. My mother was the 8th child of 12 children. Her birthday is on the 12th of January, and the 12th of January is the date of the eclipse time frame, the pinnacle point. So either way, I wanted to make sure to record this, because I'm going to watch and see what transpires after this, and I may probably come back on again and talk further, especially because I know that for me, I'm releasing like some little aspects or little subliminal feelings of fear since I moved into this house, because of what I experienced, because it was so traumatic, and I feel like I'm releasing any fear of this happening again. I'm also releasing the hurt and the pain that I felt, because the house that I was living in.
Sorry about that. So that's a part of what the dream that I had, and when I finished recording, it went up to 12. Like I said, 12 minutes and 21 seconds. And so, it's like, even when I was listening again to the dream in and of itself, it kind of gives me a feeling of, again, that rotation, what's rotating, what's changing, what's shifting, and who knows. I think I did hear that there are other moons that may be out there, and this may not be the only moon that's out there. If you have also gotten that message, or if you've also received it or seen it somewhere, I feel that there are more things that are going to be revealed to us in the next coming years. And that, yes, 1044, roger that. And I feel that it's going to make a massive amount of difference in how we communicate with the planets, and also how the planets communicate with us. And I feel that it's a shame for with some people who still choose not to understand anything about reading their charts, or at least aligning with where things show up in their charts, because actually we respond to the elements of the planets because we are the planets. We are the ones that are in rotation with each other as we go through the cycle of death and rebirth. You see what I'm saying? And when you get to that place where you realize that, it's like that's how it was in the ancient Egyptian times, which I remember. I was there. I'm here again. We said it before. And so and we're having it more. And this is about understanding all the shifts that are happening dynamically, so you're knowing what cycle that you're in for yourself, what cycle is also occurring even with your family, or even within your region where you live, okay, where you work. What is changing, what is coming in dynamically that is also planting a new seed for what's coming up for you in the next transit or the next time frame, okay? So anyway, I wanted to get into another part of this, because I knew that dynamically, since my uncle transitioned on January 1st, which is my grandmother on my mother's side, her birthday is January 1st, and then my mother's sister was January 9th, and then my mother's January 12th. My aunt on my father's side is January 10th, and they're all on the other side. Okay, they're all on the other side, and I knew that it meant something huge for me and my entire family, because my grandmother had 12 children, 13 pregnancies, 4 had left. And then I also found out, which I never knew, that my grandfather, which my grandmother, who my mother's father, that he was born January 4th. That was another Capricorn. When I started out in my full-blown awakening, I call it, from when my twin found me, I received messages coming from my grandmother, my mother, my aunt, all at the same time. It's like they were all ushering me into what was supposed to come through and to flow through me. And I was like, that's so interesting that it was all coming through Capricorn. So if you, wherever you feel yourself to be in that Capricorn energy, know that you're helping greater with this restructuring that's happening on planet Earth right now. So it may seem trivial, but it's not, because what it is, it's like this regeneration, recycle has to start from a point to where it begins in and bring in that new energy of this new decade. And this is where it comes through your family that incarnated with you, or your friends, or anyone for the matter that you're connected to. And they're the ones that agree to assist you with that change that's happening for you during this cycle. Okay, so now when I go into the lunar eclipse itself, I was saying that before, that this is the cycle of how we're dealing with things emotionally, because right now the North Node is in Cancer, and it's going to shift and move into the North Node of Gemini sometime in May, I believe. Oh, you hear birds sound? I'm glad you hear the music. I have to play music because I feel like all this energy is pulsating through me. I have to play the music in the background just to keep the everything in flow within me. It's like the silence just can't work for me, and I don't keep still anyway. So I'm surprised I'm still keeping still, because I just feel all this excitement coming through from me, because I'm hearing voices speaking to me at the same time too as well. So anyway, whatever we started from as far as the lunar and solar, it has to do with where you started from, one aspect of the axis, and it mirrors back to the opposite to close out the karmic cycles that are being released. So the lunar eclipse in the sign of Cancer is extra heightened, and the emotions that you have are going to go deeper, and it's going to feel more powerful. You see? So we're releasing the emotions that we have so we can move towards our freedom and be more in our creative space. And, so when I think about how do we move towards our freedom, because no matter what, we're still going to have our emotions, we're still going to feel, we're still going to want to connect to each other, but we're going to do that. But it's just that we're going to connect with each other without feeling as if, well, if I cry, that means that I'm trying to get attention, or if I cry, I'm trying to get someone to do something the way I want it to be because it's going to affect them emotionally. It's like we're coming in a space of emotional integrity, and that we can honor our feelings and honor where we are with things, that we experience. And at the same time, if it has served its time, that we can now let it go and don't hold on to it, because anything that we have emotional that stays there and stays there, you can create it into something. It forms into something, can form into an illness. So if you're feeling something emotional, release, allow it to release. That if you are in a male body and you're told that you shouldn't cry, that's bullshit. Cry, release, let it go. If you're a female that's been mostly in masculine energy and you feel that you got to toughen up yourself and be strong because you got to protect yourself from what you experienced before, again, what's important is what you release from within yourself. If you can't say it to someone, write it down, let it out. Whatever you eat and process in your body, you got to let it out, because if you don't, then what happens? It's stored in your body and something is going to start to take an effect on you somehow, some way. So the Cancer full moon also represents the longing to feel, guess what I haven't spoken about? Love. Longing to feel love. Longing to feel home again. Whether you're with your true family, yourself, longing to feel that connection to God, the divine. And it starts from childhood. It starts from childhood, the inner child to feel joyful and having all the desires of her and him heart, right? When I say her, him, because you incarnated, if you're on the twin soul path, if you incarnated and you were in a male body in the previous life, and in this life you're in the female body, the inner child of who you are then may still be unresolved, the inner child that's here now may be unresolved from things that you experienced during your childhood. If you never had fun, if you were not able to speak your feelings, if you were told that you're weird, and stop saying that you see spirit, and stop talking to imaginary friends, and stop talking about the fairies, that's right. And don't do that because you have the devil in you, stuff like that, all those programming, And I say, be free yourselves. Whatever you felt in your heart and soul that felt right for you, then go with it and come back to it. Come back to that inner child, because when we're coming into these sacred connections, if that inner child is still feeling wounded and feeling rejection and pain from whatever he or she experienced from a father or mother, it could be narcissism, it could be abandonment, it could be feeling as if they couldn't be free, it could be just feeling unloved, or there's just an emotional disconnection, even though the mother or father could have been right there. It could have been the child that's witnessing constant dysfunction in the family, and not being able to speak freely and not being able to be expressive. It could be sexual issues, sexual traumas that have also been occurring in the family, and it creates more of this dysfunction, as one would say. Okay, and so in these times, the eclipse is now ending and allowing you to be free and to break away from all the things that have not served you, including everything that has affected you emotionally. Okay, so you can rebuild and move forward, because it's when you don't move forward that you start to feel stuck, because you're still experiencing that pain that you're triggered. Could be from seeing another family that a child that was abused, or something that you witnessed as a child, or something happened to you as a child, and you see it again and it's recreated again, and then you take that energy with your children and the next child and the next generation, and that is what you're ending, that greater cycle of what has affected us tremendously. Do you see what I'm saying? That is what we're ending, and that's why I know that whatever is ending for me with my family, the new beginning is where the pinnacle of who we are and my children is creating the new cycle of what is happening. You know what I'm saying? And so anything old that is emotionally tied to the inner child, set him or her free. How do you do that? I'm going to give you an example. So here's what I did. I got me some games during the Christ energy time frame. I got me Simon, and I played my ass off. I was so happy. I'm telling you, it was so much fun. I got Connect 4. I hadn't played that game in so long. Ooh, was Sharon happy to play that too? Best of all, this was more lit with my children. I got trouble. We busted each other's ass and killed each other's asses off. Came back in. We all felt empowered, and I still had a great time. We played like 5 hours straight, non-stop. Now, of course, the Jamaican game is looting, but guess what? This shit was lit. Oh my fucking God. You need to play this game. We all need to get together and play like a big giant thing of trouble and see what happens. Oh yeah. Then I got spirograph. I used to do this when I was younger. I always used to love doing arts and crafts and, you know, all that kind of stuff. And it really always brought me joy. And I'm going to show you something I did when I was younger. I lost one of it, but I made sure to get it back. I did this art and craft when I was a teenager. And it was like designing anything. So anything for me to use my gifts and my brains and put it together. I had this from I was about maybe 12, 13. And I have it up on my wall. Then I also got Jenga. Yeah, and I talk about Jenga in the book because I never played it before. And then I did play it. And it's like you got to pull out the pieces. And then if it falls apart and falls down, then you got to know how you're going to pull it out without breaking that cycle and that foundation, right? But you know what? Even if it falls, guess what? You get to play it again. That's why we're here, to play again. So if that part of your inner child is feeling like you haven't been able to play and play and play. Bring the joy and the games back into your life, into your frequency. Do you see what I'm saying? It makes a big difference. Now I'm going to show you something else that I did. Okay, so this is another thing that Sharon did for herself that I've done before is I got my dolls. Yay! This is my doll collection that I got from I was in my 30s and 40s. Yes, that's right. That's right. And so I decided to get a new one. I got a darker mocha doll that was waiting for me at BJ's, and I was so happy. It was on sale. And then I had this other one here, and you know, they're all glamorous, you know, and stuff like that. One is a princess, one is a warrior princess. Then I got this one from when I took a trip to Alaska, you know, because I connect very much to the ancient tribes. Very much, very much. You see? Now, do I play with the dolls? Heck no. But I just like looking at them and seeing them because it brings me joy. See, so I brought back all of that into my reality. And I had so much fun. I really did. And you know, what it does for you is that it opens up your heart to freedom, because that's what children represent, freedom. You know, I can't begin to tell you how many times with my kids when I would tell them, don't do this. And you know what they do? They did the total opposite. They still did the shit anyway. You know what I mean? And so imagine if you're going to be, thank you so much. You know, my dolls, I just love them. I just love them. And they're just there just to see them and say, I got the dolls that I wanted to get when I was a child, and my mom was not able to get them. Okay. So whether she couldn't afford it or she just didn't want to get it, I still allowed myself to get what I desired and how it made me feel inside, and especially playing the games, you know what I mean? And playing them with my children and all that stuff, you know. And I say, you know, you get to choose. You get to choose. And the way how the new earth is coming in is in being in that everlasting joy. Okay, being that everlasting joy. And I know that each time when you're experiencing being in the joy, then all of a sudden the total opposite comes, because that is how it works in with that polarity. It's like you're going to pull in that shadow that feels like it goes against you, and it's like, can you move through it and embrace it? Because that's what it's like if you're in the presence of your twin. It's like you're experiencing the opposite of yourself that magnifies on both ends. And this is why it's important to understand that you're mastering yourself in a way to how you can withstand and how you can understand yourself and what it's like to be in the presence of God, because that's what it is. And it's a powerful energy, but everything must come into its balanced place, okay, until it neutralizes itself, till you start to feel that inner peace. And the more you allow yourself to be in the presence of that joy, that infallible joy, then anything else that comes into your presence, it starts to dissipate, and it starts to work its way back into magnetizing itself, where it doesn't feel as if it's pushing as much Okay, because it's like that's what it is right now. It's like you're going through that pushing and pulling, and they call it, oh, I'm chasing this one's coming back over here, and this one's coming over here. That's what it feels like. It just keeps going back and forth and back and forth because it's working its way into that place of neutrality. Okay, so don't look at it that, oh, my twin is just not listening, and oh, they're doing this, and oh, they said they were going to do this with me, and then it didn't happen, and then it changed and all that stuff. Because understand that if you're coming together in that physical moment, sometimes it's not even, you don't have to be physically around them, and you start to feel the intensity that is happening when you are feeling as if it's like energy. It's the energy that is flowing through them. Don't take that person personal. Don't take it so personal. That intensity is coming forth because whatever is moving through that energy between you and them, it has to work its way into that place of neutralizing. And that's why it's important to focus on your healing, what comes through for you with it, and then allow it to a few days for it to work itself out until it comes back again, and then it may separate again, because we're working our way to the point where we're not going through so many of the separation cycles, so to speak. You know what I mean? I also wanted to share with you, speaking of the twin souls, that I had the most incredible reading with someone. Now you know who you are, because you thought that I was talking about you in the other one, but you were supposed to say that, so I'll bring it up now, and you know who you are. I had told her, because I know there are some twins who they may have transitioned, okay, where if your twin has transitioned or has passed away, and you may feel as if you feel all that pain, you know, because it's very painful to feel that type of separation. I feel that it's just as close to someone who loses a child, because you're feeling everything that is happening within you as if something's missing. And what was shown to me by spirit, because I did talk about it in the book, what was shown to me, what happens to twins who die, transition, they've left the planet. How does that work for me with my ascension? What does it mean? How am I going to get through this? You know, am I going to die too? Do I need to leave? How do I move on? Okay, and what spirit showed me is that there are twins who may or may not end up leaving, and they're going to come back in as walk-ins. They're going to come back in as walk-ins because, you know, love shows up in so many ways, and we are an expression of this love in so many ways. And this is a part of you to trust who you are and how you show up on all sides. And so I told this young lady, because she told me her twin had passed away February of last year. And I told her in a reading back in June that he was going to be coming back in as a walk-in. And I told her when it does happen, she will recognize him because she's going to feel it. She's going to recognize through his eyes. She's going to understand it. And I knew that it was something that she was going to have to process through for herself. Not just saying, oh, I believe in love again, but just that she is really honoring her journey and honoring her path. That even if it looks weird and eccentric and crazy, that's what this path is. It is crazy. It is supernatural. It is out of this world. It's not in the world. It's out of this world. Okay? It's not going to be ordinary. It's extraordinary. So anyway, she contacted me for a reading about a week ago now, I think it was. And it so happens that she came into contact with her twin in the physical world. He came in as the walk-in. She sent me a picture of her twin. Now, I never saw the picture before when I did the first reading. And she showed me the picture of how he looked back in the previous body that he was in and how he looked now. And when she met him at, as far as the second person, at the airport where she lives. And when she was on this, I think she said it was on, if I didn't say correctly, please forgive me. I think she said they were on a trolley thing when you're at the airport. And when she was walking, like it was going by, she saw the last name of her twin showing on the billboard. That was like as if he was saying, yes, 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 it's me. And when she showed me the pictures of the two people, they looked exactly alike. They had dimples. You know, not much people have dimples because that is hereditary. Same forehead, same nose, same features, same hair, tall, slim. Okay? That's right. So I was just taken in myself with that because I knew that that's exactly what would be happening, and it happened just within a space of the year. And he actually came in the second time as I walk in right around the winter solstice. Okay, so everything is magnifying, masculine, masculine, masculine right now. Regeneration, regeneration, like the mummy. Okay, these are the true superheroes that are coming in as far as the energy of the masculine and the change and the rapid transformation that if they're leaving and dying, I would say, or going through that death process, whether it's in the physical world or within their spiritual body, their energetic body, their etheric body is also transforming. Okay, you know that your etheric body is the body that is closest to the physical body. Okay, and that is where you most of the time you get communication and probably feeling that telepathic energy, telepathic communication, which is totally separate from the higher self communication, from what I know. And and I looked and I said, look at God, look at the awesomeness of this power, look at the awesomeness and the strength of how true love never dies. True love never dies. Can you feel it? Can you see it? Do you believe it? Can you trust it? Do not let anyone tell you who you are connected to. Don't let anyone tell you who you are. You know who you are more than anyone else. Okay? So that was one supernatural thing that I heard about. Another one was someone else that I know. She's older and she got pregnant by her twin who's on the other side, who had passed away from the physical body, and she got pregnant. I think she's about 7 or 8 months now. We are also going to have pregnancies that are coming that are going to be very out of this world. Okay, we're here to ground not only the new energy, but also miracles and differences of things that has never existed before. Okay, power and magic, and all this magic and all this stuff is happening through us, you see. And it's not necessarily a secret, but it's for you to be so aware of self and so aware of this love and how it is showing up and permeating within you. Okay, and that you have not given up on this love. Don't give up, because it's happening. It really is happening. And it is such a joy to know that we are bringing forth this love in such a magnanimous way, and be patient with how it's going, because we're not coming in with this energy where we're recreating those old relationship templates and how it was before, and we're going through this whole entire divine marriage is what I call it. It's a divine marriage. It's a divine marriage, and it is so powerful and it's so beautiful, and I'm just grateful that we are here. I mean, how many of you are grateful to be a witness to this? This is just the beginning with all of these supernatural things that are happening. All right, it is just the beginning, just the beginning. That's what Spirit says. So anyway, if I didn't remember anything, I'll definitely try to remember to talk about it now, because I do have something special I wanted to come forth with. And I think I did announce and say that if anyone would like to receive a channeled message, I will be doing that tonight, as I had promised. And if you would like to have a channel message, it could be anything that you would like to ask. You please email it to me at thegardenofeden1111@gmail.com, and you can always send it to send it through Cash App or PayPal. If you do PayPal, if you could please send it as friends and family, or Venmo, because I think I did leave the information in the what you call it there. So anyway, I have something special that I wanted to share with you, but before I even do that, I just wanted to light something first. I haven't done this in a long time. Okay, and it just has to do with what I'm bringing in the new year for all of us. You know, as they say, we are going through such transformation. So I'm just choosing to burn through the element of everything that has been old, stagnant, okay? And bring in that new energy for all of us, okay? And think about what you're transforming for yourself. Okay, what are you bringing in new for yourself? New thought, new feeling, new vibration. See what a great feeling it is. If you have something that you can light up right now where you are, do so, please. Light something. And if you feel you don't have anything to light up, see what it is within yourself that you can light up right within your solar plexus, and and bringing in this transformation. What are you releasing emotionally right now? What has come up for you right now that you thought that you released? You thought you released enough of it, but it's still there. You know what I mean? What part of you is there for you to find the courage to move on from something that no longer serves you? You know, yes, it can be a blunt, of course. No judgment. Blunt away. Okay. And see what part of yourself that you've been more focused on 3D, that now it's time to move into that 5D aspect of yourself. You know, what part of yourself that you're not remembering or not choosing to be in that magic. You know, you're magical. We're magical beings. So what part of you is there that you have not let go of in diminishing and shrinking yourself because you're afraid of what someone may say or do? And now you can give yourself that permission to stand forth and to stand strong in your power. Okay. Being empowered means, again, that you're tapping into that inner power, and it's not necessarily power over someone, but it's that power that's within you that you're magnetizing, that power within you. And when you think that, you know, well, I don't think I have the courage to do that because I might get backlash. So what? Trust your path and trust spirit. Trust and know that everything is, when I say this again, everything is orchestrated divinely by spirit in so many ways. I didn't know where I was going to move to. I was just like, I was going to 30 something homes for the past 4 or 5 months. Oop, it's 11:11. Woo, yes, yes. What are we balancing now within ourselves? 11:11. Think about everything that you desire and what you're bringing forth in manifestation right now at 11:11 on 111. Tisulumbela matepeshere kitunibila pete shokompe bandamde tukundira rambikitare shikoni debere kitunibela bitela makutebere shikatoro beketela mara. Kure mara kitela mekitoro kusila mara kitokoni bela ketela mekitela mekitolo mera terko tushima bakitelo kombala batu. Let us continue to remember our ancestors and who they are and what they have served for us. Ishana mbandende ndelo kundera bete ketono fiketono mila mande beketono bita tibere ketono shabaka tono meketono mila. Ine mala beketono mila reketo chokusla bekete shikoto shikela kade sikoto kotoro kotoro kuchikela makita na makatara. We're in gratitude for everything and all things, and that everyone is safe and everyone is moving through in their power and everything is coming together. Everything is being regenerated. Everything is coming into alignment. We are remembering ourselves and our purposes. Anything that you are holding on to, you are now releasing. We are understanding the purpose of what it is, but now we're able to let go and to move forward. Energetically, we're moving forward and also taking steps in the physical world. If it's time to leave an old job and it's boring you, bored to tears, time to release and let go, move into your passion, whatever it is that is bringing your creativity. If you are in an old relationship that is no longer serving you, time to move on. And don't focus on being lonely, because it's time for you to start rebuilding the relationship with yourself. Everything comes into rebalance, and whatever comes into rebalancing for you, that is where the power begins. The power begins within you. The love begins within you. Realign yourself with your relationship with the divine and how you're connecting to the divine. What you cannot see is where power comes through for you. What you cannot see. What you feel is where power comes through. You may not see it, but you can feel it. Whatever you have been in the dark with is now illuminated. That you now see through the veil as it becomes thinner and thinner, as you allow the light to come through you and the knowledge, which is also light. Ishena ma etekuni de la bete de ketono kuni la mena kisho emambe. Anda lo kunda la mtu chisho undanda shamde lamde pekatuni de la bete kinumi la mambate, which is truly empowering. Alane kituni damde chisho no mila mpukumbe pena moto poro pinda ndanda. 2020 kushimbe bandi bedo kundara 444 Tindam Dalundi Beramide Bekinono represents the four quadrants and all the parts of ourselves that is moving through the shadow and the light part of you. Tindanako to the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning, the end, the first and the last. Ishalamete Bekatuni the center, the beginning, the middle, the end. Kuchukunde la lamite Bekuni Birabata Kuni Milantam Tanchunam Nela Lindam Pukum Berebada. That you remember yourself as the alchemist, and that everything that you've held heavy within you, you lighten your heart and you turn that heaviness and that lead to gold. If you're feeling pain, it is turning to gold. You're becoming golden. If you're feeling sick, you have the power to heal thyself. Heal yourself. Heal from the womb space, which you're holding in your sacral womb chakra. If you're holding onto anything that represents pain and violation, if you're also in fear, feeling shame and guilt, we're releasing the shame and guilt that is surrounding our sexualities, our feelings of love. Feeling that if we deserve love, that you do deserve it, you are lovable. You are loved, you are divine. If you've been experiencing calamity, you're now choosing to experience peace. If you have been feeling conditional when it comes to love, you're now experiencing what it's like to feel the magnitude of unconditional love that expands. Let the sounds that we hear that moves through every cell of our body, moves through every cellular energy that's within our body, be regenerated to represent who we are as true divine love. That we are all one, and that everything that has represented a separation in that consciousness is moving towards the unity of ourselves, this unity consciousness. Pendo tu pelam bum bandang de tunga ita sanda yeta mente kito kumela na mandanda. Kenene keto no ne keto no ne mena. Tikene no kono le bere ke no no. From left to right and up and down, from the head to the crown to the feet. Kishamba denda nile keto no ida danda shandanda da. Hisane le kita na ne kito no ikena la bala kotono risela metela kono no kushan la mala batani gitono gitara. And just inhale with me. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. And let's just have a moment of just grounding everything, grounding how you're feeling right now. If you need to drink water, drink water. If you need to stand up, stand up. If you need to sit down, sit down. Move the body, move everything around you. Whatever is stagnant, get it moving. Get it in movement, Spirit says, because we're speeding up. You're not your body only. You're not your body only. Whatever any one of you, I'm hearing someone who is to connect to the earth and to walk barefoot when you can outside and connect to Mother Earth and connect to her as she's just keeping us so wrapped around into what is shifting out of us as she's giving birth to us, and everything is just moving through this rapid transformation. And it's like we're going through a mutation, I'm hearing. If you've been feeling as if you're not feeling any sexual energy, that's because you are being going through that regenerational cycle of your sexual organs is also being regenerated, I'm hearing. If you've been feeling closed off to love and feeling pain, that your heart is is opening up more to love, to receiving love. Additional, and not being afraid to be in this expression of love because you have felt as if you don't deserve it, or that if you are in expression of it, that it's going to be shot down, or that it's not going to be received. So let's open up our hearts to receiving love, to the divine love, and in the energy of being in love. And that we're releasing the belief system surrounding being in love. We're letting go of those karmic cycles of marriage and divorces, and all of the separation cycle when it comes to children and their fathers, and children and their mothers. And that everything is coming together in unity, and that we understand each other, and that we honor each other for where we are, from our children to our babies to the adults, that we still remember the children that we are as the grown adults, and loving ourselves as the children that we are, children of the Most High God, children of the Most High Divine. That we are now living out what our ancestors did not get to do, and that you are now doing it through them because you are the new ancestors. I'm so grateful to Spirit. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for Spirit to bring these messages, and just feel what we're bringing in is what love and beauty is. The new ideas of love and beauty. It may feel as if it's painful and that you're not understanding, but know that the wisdom will continue to flow through you through this knowledge and light. Let the light continue to permeate through you as you amplify the shadow. Embracing the shadow is what brings the light forward. You see? So always remember that. So now I'm going to go to the treat that I have for you. If you can bear with me as I see 1122, master vibration, master numbers. Yes. Master vibration and master numbers. Magnetizing through each and every one of us that's on here. Okay. Uno momento. Hey, she's the beast. Your cats are looking out the window. Wow, that's amazing. Your cats are very much connected to the spirit realm anyway. So they can feel and see things at a very, very high frequency. And sometimes your pets are also going to be affected during your ascension process. Remember, some of your pets may be sick right now and going through a death cycle. And it's almost like they're taking on some of the energy for you to help you to get to the next level. So we're in gratitude for the pets, and the pets that have also been ascending with you at the same time. Everything is ascending on earth. Anything living, anything that gives us life is also, and what we give life to is also ascending. It's a huge cosmic cycle that we are in right now, these past 4 days. Okay, it is extremely intense, extremely powerful. Some of you might be feeling lighter with it right now, and Spirit says that it may come in and out as in stages. Okay, in stages. That's what I'm hearing. Okay, so all righty. Okay, so I'm going to get to it right now. Okay, one moment. I'll be right back. It's like an intermission. Oh my gosh. Wait, let me make sure I have it back on the. Yes. See, I have to be the DJ and the technical thing and everything. I'm used to it. Oh my goodness. Even my Bluetooth is not working. It's like even things around you, physical things are going to be affected because of the energy that's flowing within you. So don't be alarmed. It's a part of the process. So you will find a lot of things breaking down around you. Your vehicles, your cell phones, the light switches might break. What else? Telephone, TVs. You may have to go up a next level with all of it, okay? Because it may seem crazy, but even your physical stuff you've had, if you were in a particular frequency when you had it, it's switching over to another frequency. That's what I know to be true. Yep, absolutely. Oh, I can't get the volume up. I'll be right there. Oh, I know why now. I know why. I had it on the wrong thing. I don't want it to be too staticky. Okay. See, you have to be all this technical stuff. You dropped and broke your Google Hub. Oh my gosh. Your cat came running up to your chest and laid back with a sample in front of you from a Charlotte to you by the peace dealer. Oh. Wow. Okay, Lorene. Remember, if you have any questions and stuff you want for a channel reading, you could send it's 2222, and or any donations that you would like to give is much appreciated, of course. And I will definitely give you a channeled message. If anyone can please share the videos, this video, that you know that someone can benefit from it, please do so. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm coming now. here. Okay, everyone. So anyway, I'm gonna replay this because I have a special thing coming through. You're gonna be getting some codes and frequencies from my daughter, Charlize. Let's go, Charlize. Wanna say hello? No, just say hello and then go on to what you're gonna say. Go closer.
Good evening. Good day.
giving her rap bars with some attitude, of course.
In the
I'm gonna keep it
chillest
real.
way, because when have you ever saw me rap and not dance?
What?
Whenever
Nobody
you-
never seen you dance to the rap because I thought you were gonna do that.
No, I'm.
You know.
My body just.
Anyway, you're getting some accolades and stuff, so give your audience
Thank you.
a thankfulness and appreciation.
Thank you. I appreciate the comments. Considering.
Said big up.
I know.
So you can do a little shoot before you go there.
Why would I shoot on my way out? Oh my god.
Yeah, you shoot you on your way out. Yeah. Oh shoot.
That is so bad. No.
Whatever.
Cringy.
Whatever.
That's cringy. You know what cringy means?
Yeah.
It means awkward. Why don't I just shoot?
Anyway.
I just said I wasn't gonna dance.
All right. Sayonara.
Good night.
Go back on your bed then. That's what you want. Just go back to sleep.
Yes.
I have never seen a teenager can't sleep so much. My
Isn't that what
goodness.
teenagers do?
Whatever.
So much.
This is what it's like. Anyway, my dear, beautiful souls. They said good night, Charlize. Ross. I keep it very real. They said thanks for the bars. So now I'm on to channel readings. If anyone is interested in a channel message, please feel free to send me your questions to my email, thegardenofeden@gmail.com, and it's 2222. Okay, so the first one up is Mary. Okay, Mary, send me your question in the email if you can, or unless it's a quick message. If you want to type it in, then that's fine. I can do that. Oh, you said you want a general reading. Okay. All right, you know how that general thing go already, right? Okay. Well, one thing I pick up on right away with you, boy, I feel like as if you've been going through, I don't want to make it seem general, but then again, you did say you wanted general. Some intensity in your solar plexus. And I'm hearing spirit say to allow yourself to let go, because there's something that you're not letting go of and you're holding on to it very, very tightly. Okay, so whatever it is that you feel that you're being guided to let go of, please let it go. Because they're making me feel like as if that whatever it is that you're holding on to that you're not letting go of, it's what's holding you back from not being able to move forward, if that makes any sense. Okay. And it feels like as if there's more than one thing that's been more chaotic around you, something to do with work and something to do with your home, and also something that's affecting you to do with your twin too at the same time. So I'm picking up on that very, very quickly. Okay, but I'm also feeling again this intensity right in your solar plexus. Okay, and I feel like whatever is happening to do with your home is in relation to your daughter. And what it is that I'm feeling with that is that, which I understand completely well, because your children can really trigger, when you're going through this awakening process, your children can really trigger a lot of things within you, because I had to deal with my kids just with the moon cycle here and all that stuff, with me being more honored, you know what I mean? And sometimes it takes reiteration, and I know your situation is a little bit more unique, but I really feel one of the things I'm hearing very clearly is about you honoring yourself, okay? And whatever part of you is to let go of how you place yourself in that, how do I say it, in that place with helping people, that it is time to release something to release, something to let go, so that way you start to feel that energy lifting from within your solar plexus, if that makes any sense. Okay. I also feel like as if it's time for you to have some time for yourself, really. Some time for yourself by yourself, and that will kind of move you in a space of how do I say it, like regenerating or creating a new energy and feeling like, oh my gosh, I've taken back my power, I've taken back myself, I can now move on, or you can now have things moving forward than how it's been, where maybe it's been stagnant for you. So that's what I'm kind of feeling for you. Okay. Yeah, because it feels like as if whatever's affecting you is coming in threes. Like it feels like it's more than one thing. That's what it feels like. More than one thing that's happening, and it's happening at the same time. Instead, before it was maybe one at a time. Now it feels like it's, and that's why it feels so combustible. I'm feeling it right in your solar plexus. So that's what I'm getting. So I hope that helped. I'm not seeing anything coming from you. If you're hearing me, are you still there, Mary? I hope you're still there. Okay, so I don't know if there's anyone else that had a question, or if you don't have a question, yeah, you have a lot going on in your soul. Okay, so you are hearing me. Yeah. And just take like, I feel like what'll help you to kind of neutralize it is going outside. Like go outside and just keep breathing in and out, and that's going to help you with what you have to keep processing through, because we have to just keep riding the course with these energies. We can't run from it, but you can definitely allow yourself to keep moving through it by just accepting and just let it just flow through you until it dissipates. That's what I'm feeling. That's what I'm feeling. Yep, it's 11:44. 11:44. Okay, so I don't know if there's anyone else that has anything that they would like to have a channel message, or if you have a general question, ask me now or forever hold your peace. Ask me, like, if you have a general question that you know that everyone can benefit from it, ask me that question if you would like, because a lot of times I get information that'll flow through me, and because a question is asked, and then it'll just start to come out. So if you have any kind of question, doesn't matter what it is, don't be shy. I hold very much of a sacred space, for everyone, and myself included, into anything that may be happening, because you never know that someone else is also going through the same thing, and you might think you're alone, but you're not alone. Okay. So, but if no one else has any questions, then as far as a general, okay, general for everyone is, again, excuse me, like I'm burping and processing, is to allow yourself, surrender, keep surrendering and keep surrendering and keep surrendering, like more and more surrendering. And if you were say if you were told, or you had plans for something that you're going to do, and then it changes, keep going with that flow of that change, because this is how your soul is kind of giving you little samples of what it's like to be in this new energy. And that means that it may not necessarily be planned. It may be just happening at the moment, at the spur of the moment. Can you adapt to that change? Can you adapt to what is new for you and everyone else around you, that even if you can't explain it in words, it's already demonstrated just because you're being that change. Okay. And that's, so one of the greatest things I'm hearing again is surrendering, and allow yourself to be more open, receptive, feminine, and also releasing and letting go more and more of any type of belief systems that you may be holding on to. If you don't know what these belief systems are, pay attention to how your soul is responding to things that are happening around you. And as your soul is responding, because you're feeling the triggers, then you will know what to do at the moment by letting your soul take over. Because I've had so much of my soul just doing whatever, and I'm like, okay. And I'm like, did I say that? Did I do that? Because just like how when I did this reading for someone, and the words just kept coming out over and over, and I was like, oh my God, oh my God. And I didn't let my head come into it. And I just allowed myself to just be in the flow of whatever was coming out of my mouth. And I was very aware of my existence, and I was aware of myself, but I allowed myself to just keep in the flow of what was coming up. And that is how much you surrender to yourself. When I say to yourself, to your higher self, and how you surrender to God. Thank you, Wendy. Wendy, do you have any question you wanted to ask me, or did you want any general, anything general for yourself? Just let me know. Just type and let me know, okay? How do you deal with anxiety that comes with this awakening? Okay. If you're having anxiety, I say one of the best things that you can do is laughter, like bring comedy into your frequency, okay? Go outside and go for a walk, have a change of pace. Even if you go window shopping, um, go and surround yourself in a completely different atmosphere, because if you stay in the same space where you are and you're in all this anxiety or fears or in anticipation of something, what happens is it keeps amplifying and building up. But just like inhale and just exhale, inhale and exhale. Okay, that helps release anxieties that you may have surrounding anything that may come up for you in during the course of your awakening. And I understand the anxiety stuff, especially when something comes on unexpectedly, you weren't expecting it, and then all of a sudden you feel like the earth just opened up and swallowed you up, and then it's like you don't even know what to do with yourself, and so it starts to create an anxiety because you're in fear of the future. So let go of your fear of the future, okay, and stay present as possible. Stay in the present moment of, I'm experiencing this now, but my soul is taking me to another level of something that I am letting go of, and also I'm surrendering to my path of where spirit is taking me to the next level of my life, or to the next level of my ascension, or to the next level of my awakening, or to the next level of my becoming, or to the next level of who I am as I'm awakening. You're not learning anything. You're just going to another level of remembering yourself. The more you remember, the more you become empowered. The more you become empowered, the less anxiety that you have, or fear of the future, or fear because you just completely let go. Okay, so I hope that helps. Okay, Wendy, and you said is moving to New Mexico good for you? Let me see what Spirit says. Okay, so I feel like the move to New Mexico, number one, is creating a path to where you are connecting with many of your ancestors. Okay, I also feel it's happening within 6 months. It just feels like within 6 months. I'm just getting that kind of feeling, what they're showing me as far as time frame, even though I know you didn't ask, but it's like I just felt it immediately when you asked that question. I also feel like you're going to be connecting to a group of people. There's something to do with a group of people or a group setting. So I don't know if this is something where you're setting up either to do workshops, or you're starting a business, or you're starting a foundation. Something just feels like it's connecting to several people, not a singular type of thing, is what I'm hearing. So if that makes sense to you, if you're feeling doubts about that, I would say do not doubt that, to work with that group of people, because I feel the group setting or the group energy is kind of holding space for you with the changes that are happening. I'm hearing Spirit say to allow people to help you, allow people to come into your center, because I just get this feeling of getting help. Okay, that you're getting help, you're receiving help. And I feel that you've been mostly independent a lot during your life, or you've been always independent of things, independent of thoughts and doing things. But now it's like Spirit says it's going in rotation for you. You're going through a rotation cycle, or a change in that cycle of energy, where people are going to be coming along the way to help you. And you don't have to worry about what kind of help or who are they. It's like it's just ordained that these people are coming along the way to help you that you didn't expect. Okay, that's what I'm hearing. Now, as far as the money is concerned with that, they're making me feel like, again, it's like you're going to get help coming from people. Okay, so I know that's not along the same lines as getting paid, but I look at it this way. You never know what surprises that you might get from one thing to the next. Okay, and I'll give you my own example. When I was facing myself with having to move from where I was, because I was living in this house with the Underground Railroad, and I felt like I was in jail. I felt like I was enslaved. It was very deep, intense energy I had to shift through, and I knew the time was coming where it was going to be up and dealing with the person I was renting that house from. And it was so intense, and it was so, can't even describe it. And my ancestors were there, a lot of ancestors. So I don't want you to think that it's the same thing that's gonna happen with you, but it kind of makes me feel like it's moving in that direction, where you're being placed to go there is where you're assisting your ancestors. And when I had to end up moving, I was like, well, where am I gonna get the money from? How the heck is this gonna happen? And I tell you, when I think about how it ended up happening is like my brain can't go into it. It just can't, because spirit just orchestrated everything to work out for me and how I was going to receive any kind of money or funds to be able to move. Okay. But not only that, but to be able to afford to live where I am living. Okay. And how am I going to sustain myself? And I tell you again, listen to the inner voice, to where you're being led from one person to the next. Because I feel like there's someone who is going to offer you, it feels like a gentleman. I see this person, they look like they're like in a white like linen pants or something. Maybe you know them already. And I see them in this white linen pants, and it looks like there's an offer given to you either to work with them or to work for them. Okay. And that's what I'm getting so far. So even if you're going there with no job or nothing that may appear as if you're having any stability, they're saying to trust that it will come for you. Okay. And that's what I'm hearing. So I hope that helps. Let me know what happens. I always love to hear, how things are happening with anyone and everyone that I've read for or told them something. So, but I do feel that it's going to be an absolute new beginning. It's like as if you're moving up on the mountain, you're climbing the mountain, you're reaching to the top. Okay. And you're meant to be where you're at with this, because you have like a leadership role is what I'm hearing. Okay. So, Ashante. Okay, Ashante, that's a personal question that you're asking for yourself, for you and your son. So if you'd like to get a channel message with that, then I would ask if you send a donation of at least $22, and I can go deep into it for you about that, or anything else that you'd like to know. Okay. And the information is in the description box, that I can go into that for you. I do feel like for many of you, there's just going to be so much of detachments with physical things. Just know that if there's anything in your world that is having to leave, the physical stuff, just let it go. And I know it's hard to do that, especially because there are things that have sentimental value, or it could be family history. It could be a home that you've been living in for years that is attached to your family, and then all of a sudden it's just gone. You got to leave. It could be physical objects and things that you may have had that's gonna have to go. I've moved at least 5-6 times within the past year, from moving from one house, moving from hotel to hotel with stuff, and this gets thrown out and this other gets, and it's like anything that I may not even remember that I had, spirit just does it for me without me having anything to do with it. Know that in order for the new to come in, we must release and let go of the past. We must let go of things that don't serve us. And that would be even physical things, people, relationships. Some relationships are just meant to be over with, and you'll feel and know that they don't align with you in your own vibration, because everything is going to be matching to your vibration. Everything is going to be matching to your own thoughts. Okay. And if you are aligning with someone that it's pulling you down, or it feels heavy, it's going to continue to fall apart. It's going to continue to not feel right, and then things don't come into alignment for you at times, or maybe things are on delay or on hold, or it's stagnant, or it's not moving, and it's because of where you are aligning yourself with that person, or even the place where you're at. Okay. And I know it can be very scary to know, where am I going to go next? And again, I tell you that spirit got your back. Spirit got your back. There's no exceptions for anyone. Everyone is in that energy of things working out for you, no matter how it looks. And the reason is because you are the forerunners. You are the forerunners of this new reality. And for us to create the new reality, that means everything that's old, anything you've had in possession for 10 years or 15 or 20 years, some of that may not come with you. It may just break. It may just fall apart. It might just even disappear. I've had things just disappear, poof. And I'm like, where the heck did it go? I don't understand. I had to even replace one of my portable adapters to plug in for my phone to charge. Looked everywhere for it, can't find it. And it's because, again, I had to get another new one. And then even the thing that plugs into the USB, the phone that I have, it's not the same end at the end of it to plug into a USB. It's another thing called USC now. So, and the USC doesn't plug into my vehicle. So I'm like, oh my gosh, so now I have to get a new adapter to when I'm charging the car, and then also when I'm charging into because it's a fast charger now. There's also things moving into the 5G network, and what's changing in terms of the frequency of the things that flow with the phone and your laptops and your desktops and and all these things, and everything's just speeding up with that, because again, that represents the age of Aquarius and what's coming in technology, what's shifting in technology within yourself, and also the things and how we communicate. I'm very much a communicator. Aquarius is about communication, but Aquarius is not just about communication in these times, but also effective communication, also faster, advanced communication. Okay. It's like all the things that we had anticipated, that we tried, I would say, back in Atlantis time frame, is what we're bringing in through this time frame, but not with the destructiveness as much. Okay, so whatever we're destroying now, it's not where everything is going to disappear, but just like we're destroying in certain pockets of energy in certain places and certain areas, certain things within yourself, your family, generation. And then as it is regenerating, instead of being completely destroyed, because you can't destroy energy, but you definitely regenerate it, okay? And transmute through it. And so as we're doing that, everything is coming into this space of, okay, I am creating something and it's coming in faster for me. And I'm manifesting it, not even necessarily by doing anything, but just paying a little focus on it. And as you're focusing on it and say, okay, this is what I choose, this is what I desire, where does it come from? Right here in this region of your solar plexus. A lot of things I manifested that I had desire in my heart for it from 4 or 5 years ago, and it finally reached my reality. So test yourself and see how you can do the same thing too. And wherever you move to, wherever you go to, visualize what you want the place to look like. Visualize what kind of car. I had 2 cars repossessed last year, and I manifested another car miraculously with poor credit score. And I'm not afraid to talk about this. I'm talking freely with all of this, because guess what? I'm a powerful manifester. I don't play. And I know where I move through something when I'm creating it, and how I move it through that energy of I am making it happen. And the people who are in place that are the tools and the mechanism to what I'm to receive and what I'm to have, they are in alignment with me without me saying anything, because it's coming from me in what I choose and what I know I deserve to have. And the vehicle that I had before, I heard when the vehicle said to me, this other vehicle that was black said to me, when I came out the car, the vehicle that was black said to me, oh, you're going to get a truck just like me, and it's going to be black just like me. And I'm like, what? And I was like, oh no. And this was last year, January. This was like January 3rd. It happened when I went to go grocery shopping, and the vehicle was taken on January 5th. I had no vehicle for 2 months. And I had to go through a cycle of purging and moving through and feeling things, connecting to my twin and past lives. And oh my God, I was just purging and purging. And I had to go through another level of my own interdependence and power. And then so when I realized that the car was actually communicating with me, it actually happened. I actually manifested that black truck. It's not the same brand, but that's exactly what happened. This is what I'm talking about. What new energy you're in and how things are changing and manifesting around you. And even with where I moved to, I said, whatever I have has to fit in a certain way. My vibration is matching where I am. My vibration is matching what I'm choosing, even if it looks freaking impossible, okay? Because it's not about what I'm seeing and what makes sense. It's what I'm feeling and where I'm aligning with it from my heart and my higher self through God, source energy, and also what I've always desired and where I remain, okay? And I don't falter because if it looks crazy to someone else, or no, maybe you were supposed to do this instead. No, I stayed steady on that course, that even in the moments of frustration and feeling despondent and feeling let down and feeling low and feeling abandoned, I still kept pushing through. So keep pushing through. Keep pushing through because you have what it takes, because you are a being that's you're a divine being that's living out a human experience, and you're doing this to bring on what that magic has always been all along. It has never changed. It's just that we were told to numb it down, dim it, don't do it. It's blasphemous. It's evil. It's you being a witch. You're doing that. Oh, you're going to be punished. You're going to be killed. I said, well, damn, they must have thrown me off a bridge, must say about 20 times. I said, I felt as if I didn't live past 30 most of my lifetimes, because I could feel that powerhouse energy that always came within me, where I don't give up. Never give up. That's my message. Never, ever, ever give up. I don't care if it's something you tried before and it never happened. Do not give up, okay? It's not what it appears to be, okay? There's more to you than what you are not remembering, and you have what it takes, okay? Reach from within this region of your body and see how you're creating and co-creating. And also, if you're on the twin soul path, guess what? Your divine masculine or divine feminine is assisting you. Yes, there, that awareness goes beyond, okay? It goes beyond it. And when it comes together, the pair, when it comes together, it is even manifested and amplified. And that's why I also urge, please don't listen to what other people say and thinking that you're only doing it by yourself, or that you're only ascending by yourself, and that no, this power is coming even greater and magnetized with your twin, okay? And that's what I know to be true, because I saw it, I felt it, I see it in the next light years from now, and how that light, it comes in like a nuclear blast. That's what's going to come in nuclear, okay? That's what's coming as an energy and a force beyond a force. And this is how we're really getting to know God. This is how we're really getting to know ourselves, and that the relationship that you have with God has never been separated from you, and thinking that, oh, it's too much. Oh no, I don't deserve this. Oh no, I need to go down on my knees and beg. And no, that's not what it is. You see, all of that, those type of teachings, and bringing yourself down into submissiveness, and that you're not worthy, or you have to do something in order to attain a status of getting something or becoming something. That is like something that is disempowering. It's very disempowering. And the more that you keep awakening to the truth about what it really is the more powerful that you are becoming. You see what I'm saying? And once you are set in that energy, nothing can separate you from the true essence and the true love of God. Nothing can separate you from your twin. Because that bond cannot be broken. It cannot be changed. It cannot be transferred. It cannot be passed on to someone else. So all of that foolishness and fuckery to keep you separated from the truth, because they know what that power brings. So they bring in all those things to bring on the confusion energy. Don't allow yourself to be confused. Stay on track and stay on path into what that truth is and that power and where it brings you. And still, anything that comes in as the darkness to that keeps you in the dark, it serves its purpose, because it's like we're changing so much that when we even have the experience, even if you see the proof and you're like, but is this really real? Nah, it can't be. And then you let the fear come in, and then you're testing yourself again and say, do I really believe this? Oh, okay, I do. And then you might go back again and falter. So now this is where, at what point are you going to really know, like, beyond that it doesn't matter what you see happening around you. You don't have to join that energy. You don't have to allow yourself to keep listening to all the stuff out there, the news and all these things, and oh, this is gonna happen, and the doomsday, and and this is never gonna happen, and because someone else experienced whatever they're having, that you may think that the same thing is gonna happen for you, and oh, it's not gonna work out because this is how it's working out for me. Don't buy into those things, okay? Don't allow yourself to be trapped in other people's stories. I see 222 as I say this, 22 hours, 22 minutes, and 22 seconds, okay? And don't allow yourself to buy into all that dogmatic stuff that comes through religion and government and I got power over you. No, I got power over you, honey. I got power within myself. And when you have that auric field that's around you like a protector, guess what? Nothing can pierce through it. Nothing can bust through it at all. And when you're walking, you're just walking in that knowingness. You're walking in that I am presence. I am that I am that I am. And be mindful as you keep walking in I am not is going to show up. And the greater I am says I am. And then the I am not says, no, you're not, no, you're not. And that is you again, knowing yourself and being in that awareness, getting past the illusions of separation, thinking that this person is separate from me and this other person is separate from this, and oh no, this is not, no. Okay, because that's again getting trapped in the illusion and that old matrix structure of that this is not going to be best for you because you need to come back to the old ways. And that's why some people are going back into their fear by going back to the old structures, the old books, the old stories. The old stories were great. They served its purpose, but now we're creating new energy, new timelines. You see, everything is going. Can you imagine? I said this to somebody. I said, can you imagine if I was to take out an 8-track tape, you'd laugh at me, right? And even nowadays, I even looked at DVDs. I was like, people aren't even probably going to buy DVDs anymore because you're going to be just downloading things electronically. That's how much things are just leaving our frequency that no longer serves us. Okay. If I took out a DOS program, you'd laugh at me. Like, what's that? I don't know what that is. You know what I mean? We're going to soon be driving electric cars where we're no longer going to be using, having to put in gas and getting all of this transmission stuff coming in and poisoning our bodies and stuff. We're going to have I already said, I'm looking forward to the flying cars. That is the new cycle of changes that are coming. Women don't have to deal with traffic and foolishness. You see, I don't have to worry about parking. And I go even further than that. And we can laugh about it. Is Ant-Man, where he shrunk his car. You don't have to worry about parking space and getting parking tickets. You see, that's right. Where we're going to be able to levitate and leave from one region to the next. Okay. Manifestation. You think the thought and it just comes right towards you. That's what I'm talking about. That is how far in advance we're moving in technology and moving with our bodies, and you become lighter in your heart, lighter in your physical body, because you're lighter with the thoughts. You're lighter with the change and the newness that is also coming into play. You see? And as you become lighter, that is how you're able to be in that greater, freer energy. You remember, what's his name? Oh gosh, I can't remember his name, but he was the one that was bringing on the free energy, and he spoke about it quite a lot. And that's what we're doing. We're bringing in that free energy where everything becomes freer, lighter, you're more joyful, there's more peace in your heart, and it's going to keep recycling out people and places and situations and stuff that has carried energy that no longer serve us, and it'll just either be burned or buried, okay, or swallowed up, or it's going to be drowned. It's going to just leave, and that's it. And it's still going to recreate and come back again. And we'll be living in this world where all of our loved ones that we have seen and missed, that you will soon see them, or maybe you have already, like actually see them like how you see me, like really seeing them, and there's no fear behind it, because they are also a part of this cycle of change where they won't have to necessarily reincarnate back into a physical body. You see what I'm saying? And that is what is coming through as change on earth. Children who are coming in, they're coming in with their diamond crystalline codes. And those codes are them knowing who they are, that they don't have to learn anything, because they're going to be teaching you and helping you with the newer codes that are coming in as a recycle. Okay. And they're going to be coming in pairs. You're going to see male and female, masculine and feminine. Some of them may come in. Some of the changes also are going to be coming in with the animals that are going to also look different. So I know that there are animals that are also probably going to be leaving with certain parts of, it's 12:12 right now, 12:12 a.m. Amazing. What an amazing amount of codes that are flowing through. 12:12, and it is 1:12, my mom's birthday. So I just want to give a shout out to my mom. I don't even remember what age she would have been, but I know that she and I, she's like a sister. My mom and I are like sisters. We always have spiritual conscious conversations, and she's the one that has led me on my path back to true love, and I often say that she may not be here in the physical world, but the one thing I will say, and I'll show you a picture of my mom. I took this picture. This was when she was 40. her 40th birthday where we used to live. And I keep this picture beside me because I always feel like she's watching me and she's always with me. Um, and the relationship that she and I have is unsurmountable and it cannot be even described because we were like truly like best friends. And so when I think about her, I think about my mom in how I communicate with her. She's not here in the physical world, but I know that she exists and I still feel her love. And she had told me by coming to me in a dream right around the time when my twin found me, and I didn't know what this meant. I didn't know what it was. It was just so strange. And she came to me in the dream, and I was in his room in the dream, and she stood in the corner, and I said, "Oh my God, why are you here?" And I said, if he sees you, he might get scared. And I knew that he saw her in the dream, and she then told me to go and follow him. And so I followed him, and we started walking, ended up in this building, and it's like she was taking me to an apartment where she was living. And there were these two officers standing by the door. And I said, "Well, why are they by the door? Are they guarding something, whatever?" And she was like, "Yes." So I said, "Well, what is it?" And she was like, "Oh, I don't need to know now." And I was like, "Yes, I want to know. I want to know." And she wouldn't tell me. So what in the dream, this is in the dream now, I'm looking and I'm piercing with my spiritual eyes and using my psychic abilities, empathic abilities to see through the door. And when I looked through the door while the door was closed, I saw these big giant diamonds. And so I told her, I said, "Well, why are you hiding that from me? You don't need to hide that from me." And she she told me that she was holding the diamonds for me, and that now he was going to lead me towards having the diamonds with me, or something like that, to that effect, which I talk about it a lot in the book. And so she told me to just that it was okay, to be with him, because he was now going to carry the diamonds with me. So in other words, she was showing me how my path, my journey was with him, to trust it, and that I was going to be becoming that diamond. Many of us are becoming a diamond. Something is pressing, something is molding, something is shifting within you to become that diamond, whether it's in your heart, whether it's in your mind, what you see, where it's not corrupted like before, and that you're able to see past what you have never seen before, and that you're able to see from your heart and not only your eyes, that you're able to feel and know what's true for you. And so I haven't seen my twin since 2014, but I still feel and I still see him, even though he's not physically here. So you see, I still have this interdynamic connection between my mom and my twin. And it just like correlates. And it brought me to a place of so much surrender, because that's what has always felt real for me, is connecting to that spiritual world. But not only that, but what is different now is that I am observant of myself and observant of this energy of love that comes from my mom that I can't see in the physical anymore, and also from my twin, who's not physically around me, but I know that it's present. So can you feel love present right in front of you and around you without touching it? Are you able to discern on both ends, in both dimensions, because they're all in the same space? It's not all the way up there. It's only like 6 inches above from where you're at. It's just that it's at a higher frequency, because this is how transparent we are becoming. This is how everything is just going to keep being illuminated around you. Everything is going to start to show itself. Everything's going to start to reveal itself. Everything that's been hidden is going to show itself. That's why when you're connecting to your twin, it's like you can't hide. You gotta, your whole entire, that's the part of the scripture that said, who told you that you were naked? Who told you that it was bad for you to know, to bite of the tree of knowledge, to know thyself? Who told you that it was wrong? Who told you what was right? It's not right versus wrong. It just is. Because you are who you are. I am that I am. And it will always be that way. Always. It will not change, but it will definitely keep transforming. So I'm going to go to the young lady's question. Let me see. What's your name again? Ashante. Okay, Ashanti, what I want to ask you, are you going through any type of separation with your son? Like, is there an issue going on with a dad or a father figure? Um, I sort of get an energy of strife between you, your son, and a father figure or a father energy. Okay, so when you say if anything is happening for you and your son, it almost makes me feel like there's some sort of fear or something that you're fearful of what is going to be happening between for you and your son. Okay, so it is his father. Okay, so first of all, let go of your fears. Secondly, I understand where you're coming from because I've been down that road. I can see the whole picture of what you're asking. And no matter what happens, okay, just know that you're on the right track. It is on the right track, but it's imperative for you to let go of your fears. Okay, that's the first thing. Let go of your fears. Because when you say, if I see anything happening, it's almost like you're projecting a fear of something happening and that it'll happen. And even if I tell you nothing's going to happen, you're still holding on to a fear of something happening because you are in anticipation of if it's a court proceeding or something that you're being threatened with your son being taken from you, or if someone is going to be able to have more control and power over you to do with your son. That even sometimes this is something that I'm, it's meant for me to hear to myself coming out of my own mouth through my higher self, that even sometimes letting go is also where you become empowered. If anything shows up in your reality as if you are to let go of your son, then you do that because the power is going to come from within you from letting go. Okay. And I can feel the tension that it's bringing in your reality. Okay. So just breathe, breathe, breathe. Know that everything is in its divine order. And I know we don't like to hear that because I know when you're walking that path and walking the shoes, it is very uncomfortable. And I really feel like in a past life, because I'm getting a past life message coming in for you, that you were going through a time where your son was taken from you, and it had to do with your divine masculine trying to be in control over you. Okay. And it was like a power play. Okay. And I went through the same thing with my twin in a past life. It was shown to me. And it showed up in my reality actually with my oldest son. I went through that with his father. This power play took me to court, threatened me, and all I could do was just, I prayed and I had to just let things unfold. And in hindsight, I realized that it happened for its reason. And one thing I knew is that no matter what happens, my son always will love me no matter what happens, and nothing can take that away. And a lot of times what it ends up being is like a manipulation and manipulating energy that shows up with that person is, am I going to go into the fears if this person can do anything to me, or am I going to stay in my truth and my power? Okay. So shift your thoughts. Shift your thoughts in where you are when it comes to your son. Shift your perception of what you feel or in fear of what can happen. Okay? Because I see two different elements showing up in your reality. Like, yes, everything is going to work for me with my son and I can have my peace of mind. On the other hand, I feel all the calamity on the other side of the coin with things, because I feel like as if you give your power over to the father and you're in fear of what he can do. Okay. I went through that with my oldest son's father, and when he had threatened me with my son, and then I ended up going to court, and then I lost custody of my son. I lost custody of my son, but you know what? My son is 32 right now, and guess what? He's free and I'm free. Okay, that's right. And you'd never think, I'd never thought that I'd ever be free from all of that. I'm not saying it's going to take you 30 something years, but all I'm saying is that you are in this process of becoming empowered again and taking back your power. Okay, that's how it's showing up. So trust every way possible to how you're being led to become empowered again, and that you release that timeline and that energy of being controlled. Okay. And then what I said to my son's father, that time I had no vehicle, no nothing, and he thought that I was gonna run, jump, and skip and go take a bus to go pick up my son. And I told him, I said, you know what? I'm not gonna pick him up today. And I love my son to life that time. I said, I'm not gonna pick him up today. And I said, what is he gonna do? Is he gonna hurt me because I don't go pick up my son and do things the way how he wants it? No. I took back my power by not doing anything at all. And then I thought to myself, he can kiss my ass. Okay. And that's how I felt, honestly, you know. But I know it can be quite challenging when you have younger children, and you can love your children, but remember that you are the vessel and the vehicle that brought them here, and they're also here to help you to also awaken to yourself. The spouse, the father, the mother, any type of energy that shows up as control over you, or threats, manipulation, disempowerment, that it is a part of how you are moving towards detachment. Because I know when you're a mom, you're close to your children, you love them, but guess what? The detachment is what changes things, and not holding on to specific outcomes to how you feel that it should happen. Because even sometimes that child may be also in a place where they also have to learn something for themselves, or remember something for themselves, or see both sides of the coin. Excuse me, because that happened with both of my children, where they both had to be with their dad to see what it was like, to get to experience. And that's what the soul does. The soul chooses to go through different sides of the spectrum to know itself. Like, I want to know what it's like to be this way. Okay, now I want to experience the other side of the coin. I want to know what it's like to be that. When you're on the twin soul path, guess what? You're having the experience simultaneously between you as the divine feminine and you as the divine masculine. So that way you get to experience the same theme, but from two different perspectives, two different sides of the coin. Okay. And that is the true nature of the soul. See? So look at it also from that perspective, where it's not where you're at battle with someone, but more that I am now choosing to become the highest version of myself. And I'm making a new choice in this lifetime that will now serve me and humanity. So we now create another level of peace on earth. And, you know, I think about what is it that we can do to always manifest peace into our lives. And I say letting go. Letting go creates the greater peace, no matter what that letting go may mean for you. Okay. And you will start to feel, I know I went longer into this, you know, but I guess it was meant for you to ask that question, because many of us struggle. Many people struggle during this time of ascension of what and how do I let go? How do I really let go? Even with what we love the most, can you let go even of something that you love the most? Because, you know, it's easy to let go of something you can't stand, you know, or something you don't like. It's really easy. You're like, oh, kiss my butt, or you know, holler and crumple it up and throw it away. But is what we love that it can be the most difficult and challenging, you know. But you see, what Spirit says is that whatever you can let go of, I have something better in store for you. And I'm not saying in terms of a child, but you never know what may come forth from that child as a blessing to who they're becoming. And maybe they need to experience something on the opposite end so they really appreciate you more on the other end. You know what I mean? And that you also appreciate yourself and love yourself more than the child. During this course of ascension, hear ye. How much and how deep, how much deeper are you going to go into this love, this self-love? Because self-love is not sacrifice anymore, where you're sacrificing for this one and sacrificing for your children. You see, that's another programming. That means that you're going so deep that you're becoming more selfish, and that you're also looking out for yourself more and letting go and really being in that freedom. Okay? Because it can really feel very torn when you're going through this ascension process, you know, because you want to save this one and you want to save that one, but you got to save yourself first. It's not about saving anyone anymore, including your children, you know. And it can become insane, but they too have to go through their ascension process as well. They are also here to help you with what is embodied in your frequency to be able to release and let go and heal. okay, because you couldn't do it all by yourself. So that's why they volunteered to come into this reality, so that way they can help you to ascend to that specific point, and they're ascending with you at the same time. So everyone is a key player during this ascension process. Your children, your past relationships, they are an aspect of your twin, an aspect of you that comes together for you to under and understand what is happening in your reality, for you to either let go, transmute, start over, regurgitate and release, let go, process through it, whether it's coming through your crown, your throat chakra, to speak out and exercise your rights, your feelings. Don't hold back any longer. Speak your truth, okay? And if you're feeling anxiety in your stomach area, your stomach region, from nervousness and anxiety, again, you move through that energy by speaking your truth and walking your path and walking in that truth for yourself, okay? No one else can do it for you but you. And you'd be surprised, once you do it, then you're able to move forward. You're able to move forward. And that's how it works. And moving forward is energetically and physically. Energetically and physically. So I hope that helped you a lot, as I see 19 people with 19 likes. So the code is 1919. It's 1919. And just make sure to laugh. Please, please, gentle people, laugh, laugh, laugh. Laughter is great for the soul during this course and this process, because when you bring yourself to laugh, to dance, you shift something around you, and then the vibration changes and the timeline changes, okay? That's what it does. It changes the timeline. It really, really does. So anyway, I pray that everyone, I'm thankful that everyone has received something today. I know this was full blast, full head-on messages, and amplified messages, I would say. And I'm grateful that I was in the position, feeling energetically as well as physically, to be able to give you the messages, because I know that it's not something that you can just talk to anyone about this, you know what I mean? So you look at this as a place where you can hear something that will either make sense for you, or even if maybe you heard it before, but now you're hearing it again, but you're in a different level of where you are in your thought process. And then when you hear it again, you're like, oh my, wow. So now I get it, or I see something differently, or something more is showing up in my reality than what I may not have understood. You know what I mean? And it lightens up, again, it lightens up your energy, and it sends it off a wave of frequency that starts to change your outer reality, just because you're in awareness. So when you're going through your healing and shifting process, how it works on a greater magnitude, on a greater scale, is being aware of what it is that's showing up from that root cause from your childhood, or from a past life. And as you're able to do that, being in the awareness of it, because meditating is great, prayer is great, grounding is great, but guess what? Greater is the awareness that you have of what it is that you are healing and shifting through, because your reality is like, oh wow, oh my goodness, I didn't that's where the illumination comes in. Okay. And once it's illumined, once that, there's light given to what was in the dark, or what was hidden from you, or what you didn't understand, then what happens is you shift at that moment. Thank you, Mary. You shift at that moment, and then your reality becomes something new. Okay. And once you start to shift, everyone else around you starts to feel the effect of that shift. That's why they call it the 100 monkey theory. Something starts to shift with everyone that you are in connection with in your reality. And that's why it's not necessarily based on what you do. It's based on who you're being at the time. Okay. That you will start to see things looking differently in your reality, without doing anything. It just starts to emanate from that shift that you're making within your subconscious mind. And then it just starts to happen without you even being aware that it's happening. And then when you're looking at it and saying, oh wow, I see it now, and then someone else may not see it because everyone is seeing something from a different perspective. But the more you are recreating that 5-dimensional higher space or reality where you are, it starts to ground and it starts to show itself, that person or another person may not see it, and it's not for them to see it because someone else might be seeing that reality with you, that you aligning with it is going to bring that person, and it's going to bring people or a place that's going to align with where you are at with that frequency. So I know it's kind of like, ooh, what does that mean? I don't know. It's okay. Come back to this again in a few months and see how and where, and in the process of how you're manifesting comes through, it comes through very subtly, and then it just starts to move in rapidly, very, very rapidly. And when it comes in rapidly, again, everything else around you is going to start to disappear too as well. So you're bringing in the good stuff, and then your spirit is just letting go of the old stuff. And that's what I know to be true. That's what I know to be true. So I don't know if anyone else has any other general questions that you would like to ask. Please feel free to ask right now before I release the live. I'm not tired or anything like that. I feel like what I went through yesterday just killed it. Really did. It was a lot of energy I was processing through yesterday. I may not have been able to make sense out of it, but I knew that I was bringing in a newer timeline because of the Saturn conjunct Pluto was releasing a huge cosmic cycle of energy that existed between my family, myself, and even others around me. So, all right. So I'm just going to leave on this note. I'm going to play at least one more song for you guys to remember. If I can find the remote. I don't know what I did with it. And what did I do with it? I know it didn't disappear because I didn't get up from here. No, I did not. You know what? I guess I had to manually turn it up. That's all. Yes. Love is greater than pride. I mean, stronger than pride. What am I saying? I can change up the words a bit. Yes, Mary. I'm going to look through the comments. I don't want to miss anybody. And I'm choosing for the music to really keep coming through. He cried so much yesterday during my Instagram. Aww. And it truly felt like a surrender and release of what I was going through. Oh, so welcome, sweetie. I'm so glad to hear that. And I was feeling sucky yesterday, so I am grateful that it helped you to release. That's what the Cancer moon does. My moon is in Pisces, so it's just heightened, with everything. Wow. And what's interesting is that my divine masculine's moon is in Capricorn. His Neptune is in Capricorn, Mars in Cancer, Sun in Cancer, and my Jupiter is in Cancer, and my I don't know what is it. I believe my Neptune, my Venus is in Pisces, my Neptune Pisces. So the way how everything is moving together is in the energy of the feelings, the thoughts, and what's grounding, and the change with relationships and how we interrelate with each other and also together. See, that's it. That's why I have so much big stuff. But it's true. I needed all of it to come together, And I feel releasing energy is one of the greatest things you could ever do for yourself, more than anything else, you know. New beginnings, Spirit says, new beginnings. And then there's more new beginnings again. See? Yes. Whatever you need to smoke out of your life, smoke it out, baby. Smoke it out. It stopped for a little bit, but I'm going to start a little bit before we go. See? Love is stronger than pride. Yes, love is stronger than pride. I really, really love you. Love is stronger than pride. Yes. It felt so good. Yes. Love it. And yes, smoke it out too, Stephen. Smoke it all out. That's right. Weed it out. That's why they say weed, you know? You weed it out. You know, I'm never good with my sarcastic dry jokes, but that's how it is. You know what I'm saying? And singing also helps with transmuting the energy. When you sing, it brings out the vibration. Love is stronger than pride. Yeah. Even if you're croaking, Libra rising, that's right. Balance out, peaceful one. You feel like a powerhouse anyway with this blue flame integration. You come with a lot of fire too. I can feel that fire energy with you. I do. Love is stronger than pride. Pride, yeah. Yes, love is, and you know, Meredith, I'm gonna give her a rat's ass to play the music, because you know what? The music gives messages. For any of you who don't know me, I deliver messages from all angles and all ways, you see? That's right. Because the power within me knows that my intention is not to take from anyone. My intention is to share the messages that comes through from all of us, because we all came here to bring all our gifts together to awaken each other and to awaken ourselves, you see? Because every song, everything you speak carries codes. And as you continue to unlock the codes, you set everyone and yourselves free. We're all here reincarnated from the past, and we're back here again. And guess what? We don't have to worry about nobody throwing us off the bridge and, you know, burying us alive. You know, I had all those memories, being buried alive, you know, burned at the stake and shit. We said that we're committing this and whatever. And it was only because of fear. So just know that you're not alone, you know. I haven't even had to burn things in a very long time. You know why? Because I know the power of who I am and the Christ, you know. And sometimes you might still have a little bit of fear within you, but you know what? Fear pushes and propels you to feel your power. False evidence appearing real. That's right. You see? That's what it does. And so as the fear contracts, the love expands. And you wouldn't know what love is if you did not have fear. See? So that's a part of embracing your light through the fears, through the darkness. Okay? That little child within you is exercising his and her freedom, just like when mommy and daddy turned their backs. How many of you did that? Because I know you did. As soon as mommy and daddy turned their backs, whoever represented you as mommy and daddy, as soon as they turned their back, you did whatever the fuck you wanted to do, right? And you felt your freedom. All that matters was that you had somebody on the lookout to see if you were going to get caught. I got caught so many times, and guess what? I still kept it moving, you know? That's right. We all wanted to be adventurous, you know? Yes, I'm a very powerful influencer in that way at times, you know, but it served its purpose, you know? All in the name of love, yes. Because, you know, someone might not look at it as love. They might look at it as being rebellious and, you know, and so on. You're going to make your own anointing wonderful. Make sure you let me know, give me your website and stuff, because I love supporting my peoples. Yes. Oh, by the way, for any of you females out there, or males, I mean, it could be, I don't know. If you feel you're at a point where there's times where you want to wear certain clothing and bras that will uplift your breasts, but then you're not wearing a bra, there's a company that I found where you wear this thing that you stick it onto your breast and it lifts it up, so you still feel beautiful and empowered, but not necessarily if your breast is sagging. Because I know some people say, oh, well, I still want to have my breast naturally out there. I do that too, okay? And there's times when I want it to be up and there's times when I want it to be free. But I know that we're all moving again towards change, see? Towards change. Oh, wonderful. January, February. Well, just make sure you send me your website and information so that way I also, because I love having, and if you have oils that's going to be lavender scented, I love those type of oils, okay? Yes. Oh, thank you, sweetie. I appreciate that so much. I appreciate you. So, like I said, if any of you would like to know about this company, because there's a lot of things that are coming in, deodorant stuff, where we're not being so invasive with our bodies. Love you too, honey. And that we're still able to still be in that great, wonderful, pure, divine, feminine energy, and still feel empowered and sexy, come into that sensuality, sexiness, and feeling good inside, because what it does, it paves the way to also what you're creating, okay? But first we must heal ourselves, you see, and also empower ourselves, and then move on to the next stage and the next stage. So that is the next, another time frame. And if any of you have any topics or anything that you have not heard me talk about, please send me an email or something so I can make sure to talk about it or whatever. And if any one of you are interested in a private session, because I do offer private sessions, private readings, and you can check out my website at www.thereturnofthegardenofeden.com. I also have a Patreon account where I have segments that I've recorded that's going in the book, but it's a little bit more private in a sense, and it has to do with my own personal path as well as dreams and stuff that I've had that I've put together in segments. Also, what it does is if you feel that you're on a path where you would like to have deeper or greater guidance to whatever is happening with you, I have different tiers and different ways that you can get readings per month or whatever that you choose. But if so, again, I do offer private readings where I do Skype, or if you're in the New York, New Jersey, Connecticut area, what do you call it, I do in-person readings as well, and Skype. I will be, let me see, where am I supposed to be again? Sometime in the end of I think it's February, I'm supposed to be doing some speaking and readings in New Jersey, in Teaneck. Gosh, Judith, don't kill me. I don't remember the name of her shop. But anyway, I'll be make sure, you'll just pay attention to my post and stuff, and I'll make sure to announce where that is going to be, as far as any, what do you call it? What do you call it again? Seminars or speaking or so on and so forth. And in the future, I would say in a few months, not too long from now, I will be doing some podcasts with Paris. Yay, I'm looking forward to that. She's bringing in a new element where it's video podcast, because I know most podcasts, most podcasts is through the radio and listening. And I talk about the highest frequency is visual, when you're seeing and connecting and hearing at the same time, okay? And I'm looking so forward to that. It's very exciting. And of course, Charlize, Charlize is going to be, she was already applied to audition at the, forgot what you call it again. She auditioned at the America's Got Talent. Oh my gosh, I couldn't get that out. And so I should be hearing something back sometime, I think it's February, March or something like that. And she will be back at the Manhattan Neighborhood Network, where she will be interviewed. I will let you know. And I'm really excited about that because it has also been a dream of mine to also be speaking publicly on TV or podcasts or internet, Netflix type of situation where the information is going full blast, full blast. So just know that things are moving along, coming along. And if I know any one of you that has any gifts or talents, you have a voice, a sultry voice, you feel empowered, you have messages to share, or something that you want to be a part of this creativity, let me know, because as things start to come in faster and faster, I'm interested in choosing to, like how they have The View and all these other talk shows. Well, I'm interested in conscious speaking, and where it's fun and entertaining. It's not just one thing, you know, that there's something happening within us that's showing outside of us, and we're doing it collectively. So on this final note, final note, I will leave it at One Love with Bob Marley. And I love you all with all my heart and soul. Don't forget to move the body. Hopeless sinner. Remember, sin is just missing the mark. Saying, one love, one heart. Let's get together and feel alright. And there are many, many beginnings. Give thanks and praise to the Lord, and I will feel alright. Let's get together and feel alright. I'm like your mama. Oh. One love. You know, I had many children, you know, just that I couldn't have all y'all. So, you know, if you feel like I'm a mother to you, then I welcome you back into our reality. Hiding place from the Father, Mother creation, saying, one love. What about the one love, one heart, one love, one heart? Let's get together and feel alright. One love, one heart, alright. You just make sure you let me know when the time comes. That's my dream, is to have a big table of round talks and conversation. Feel alright. Give thanks and praise that I am so in gratitude with for you all and for us bringing on these new energies on earth. I love you.